Yes, we are indeed back yet again for round two here tonight. Yes, tonight. We had an early afternoon game. Now here tonight, we will lay witness to the Minnesota Timberwolves taking on the Charlotte Hornets. Both of these teams desperately need a win. The Charlotte Hornets want to continue their winning ways to try and battle out of this play-in situation, while the Minnesota Timberwolves have been dropping games left and right as Anthony Edwards has been sitting out with an injury. And so they need to get back on the right side of the win column. And so let's go ahead, start the show, break it down as quickly as we can. Tip-off will be in about 30 minutes or so. Let's start the show. That is correct. We are indeed back in the building. And yes, we have, with my estimation, what could be, should be, probably will be the game of the night as the Minnesota Timberwolves welcome in the Charlotte Hornets, as the Charlotte Hornets are the road team today. So, of course, we'll start our little mini pregame coverage with the Charlotte Hornets here. Go ahead, hit the music, get the music. Stop the music, stop the music. Let's go ahead. The best player on the road team, that is indeed LaMelo Ball, who's having a fantastic resurgent season. Resurgent in the sense that there was a lot of people who were kind of out on LaMelo Ball. LaMelo, little immature on and off the court, but he's turned his perception around during this last Charlotte Hornets run where he's playing really good, solid, winning basketball as the best player on a really, really fun and entertaining Charlotte Hornets team that's also tough both offensively and defensively. Really underrated defensive team right now. Charlotte Hornets doing a really good job of staying in this race for the actual playoff seeding, right? Whether it's as the 6th seed, maybe even possible 5 seed, but these Charlotte Hornets doing a really good job of not just being content of making the play and, oh, yeah, we had a nice rally, we're in the play and we're going to make it, guys. Like, no, they are legitimately battling for a playoff spot. Zoe, what's up, Zoe? Carson, what's up, Carson? Who else do we have? We have Rudy Pooty, Funpei, appreciate you guys. Angela Harding, as always, appreciate you, Angela. Ronald, what's up, Ronald? You are a busy man. On a nice lazy Sunday like this, we got some good basketball games on. We're going to be live for these basketball games for sure. We're going to watch as many of them as we possibly can. And here tonight, this is a good one. Even without Anthony Edwards, this should still be a very fun, entertaining game. Real quick, let me pull up the injury reports for both sides. Outside of Anthony Edwards, I think, well, also, we know Jaden McDaniels has been missing the last couple of games with an injury. I don't think he'll play tonight either. PJ Hall is out for the Charlotte Hornets, which he's not a part of the rotation anyway. So a full bill of health for the Charlotte Hornets as far as the Minnesota Timberwolves. No Anthony Edwards, no Jaden McDaniels. Both of those guys likely out until the playoffs. Possibly because it seems pretty certain that Minnesota will hold on to that. Will hold on to that 6th seed and at least make the playoffs without having to play the play-in. So. Zosa, what about the OKC game? We can only cover one game at a time. And the OKC are playing, the Utah Jazz? So no thanks. We're not watching a tanking team play, especially this late into the season when we got other options. So we're going to start with LaMelo Ball here. Again, outside of Anthony Edwards and Jaden McDaniels, who we knew already previously were going to be out for tonight. Pretty clean bill of health for both sides. No unexpected injuries so far to report. LaMelo, about 20 points a game, 7 boards. He's played, like I said, played excellently, even though you look at the efficiency, about 40% from the field. The three-point percentage has been rising, though, as the season's gone on, and that's honestly one of the more important aspects of a LaMelo Ball's game because it opens up his driving game. He doesn't have elite speed or quickness to attack people off the bounce. He's got a pretty good handle to him, if not maybe a little helter-skelter, a little all over the place with his handle, but he doesn't have elite speed or quickness to beat elite perimeter defenders who is usually matched up against LaMelo Ball. He's pretty good manipulating out of the pick and roll, but for the most part, he has to use his skill in order to get into the paint. One of the ways to do that is by being a threat off the bounce with a perimeter game. And LaMelo Ball, with his sort of mentality of like, yeah, I'm 35 feet away from the basket and I have a live dribble and I'm off balance, I'm going to throw it up there anyway. And the fact that he's capable of knocking shots like that down, as well as obviously knocking down shots from out 30 feet, allows LaMelo Ball to spread the defense as far away from the rest of the court as possible, as close to the half-court line as possible. It has that bit of a Steph Curry aspect to him. Steph Curry aspect to his game in terms of like having to defend him all the way out there, and with a live ball handle and how tricky and slithery he can be, can then utilize that space that it allows him, as well as playing alongside guys like Knipple and Miller, who spread the court out to force defenses out onto the wing and give him as much space as possible to operate. It allows LaMelo Ball to then attack defenses in that way by getting into the rim. Like I said, doesn't necessarily use speed and quickness to get past guys, although that is obviously he's not he's not Luka Doncic, but can still explode past guys to some degree. But at the NBA level, more so uses his ability to spread the three-point shot as far out as possible in order to entice defenses to step out really far onto LaMelo Ball, where then he can start to collapse the defense by getting into the paint and spraying it out to either passes or drop-off passes to guys like Diabate and whatnot. Foonpay said, slap your like because I don't have the proper subscriptions to watch the game. I'm just going to trust whatever you say. Appreciate you, Foonpay. DB4, what's up, DB4? OKC about to put 90 in the first half on the Jazz. No one wants to see that. No one at all. No one at all. We get the Brandon Miller, who is the second best player on the team, but also got off to a really rough start this season. Brandon Miller obviously was coming off the injury, so there's, we excused a bit the beginning portion of his season when he did come back from the injury, shaking off the rust, getting back into action, working and building chemistry with the new rookie in Knipple. Brandon Miller, 20 points per game, 5 boards, 3.5 assists, 2.8 turnovers, a little high, and similar with LaMelo Ball, 2.8 turnovers, a little high, but for LaMelo Ball, really, really impressive that he has been able to lower his turnover numbers, because comparatively before, he was well over 3.5 or hovering around 3.5 and well over 3. And he was, when I talk about maturity with LaMelo Ball, that's what I was talking about. Like, yes, off-court maturity has always been a question with LaMelo Ball, and as he's getting older, hopefully he starts to become a bit more mature and a bit more responsible with his decision-making. But that is obviously what I'm talking about on court, with being responsible with his decision-making, without having to fully remove the creativity and wildness of his game. And part of doing that is just making smarter decisions with his passing, not putting himself in predicaments where he's caught in no man's land. He's got to swing the ball wildly around. 40% from the field is obviously not great, but that's also part of his game where he's a bit wild, and you have to just free the reins. Greg Popovich has this great quote back in the day where he finally got to see the real player of who Manu Ginobili was by just allowing him to be Manu Ginobili. He knew he was good for 2 or 3 wild passes a game. He knew that Manu Ginobili was going to be wild with his decision-making, his ball handling, his shot selection, but in order to get the best out of him, he needed him to swing the ball around. Zoe, you got to stop spamming in the chat. You got to stop spamming in the chat. Carson, what's up, Carson? This is definitely a game to see if the Hornets can play under pressure. I think the Hornets have had a couple of games like that this season where they've proven that they can play under pressure. They dominated the Knicks for the most part. They didn't necessarily dominate the Knicks, but they controlled that game against the Knicks from start to finish. They have a absolutely dominant game against the... they have a dominant game against the Boston Celtics. And then they had a really close game against the Boston Celtics, and it was a close one. But ultimately, the Celtics pulled that one off. So it ended in a loss, but it was close. Foonpay said, shout out to Manu. Super stretchy Euro steps. Absolutely. Absolutely. Carson said, yeah, but isn't it OA or Timberwolves Stadium? This is in Charlotte. This is in Charlotte. I mean, not Charlotte. I'm sorry. This is the Timberwolves, yes. But they dominated the Celtics. And then they had a really close game against the Celtics. One of those, I'm sure, were in Boston. And they dominated that, not dominated, but they controlled that game against the Knicks. They've had a couple of really impressive victories this season. They beat the Spurs. They beat the Rockets. Like, they have a couple of really nice wins. They're battle tested for the most part here. Now, come playoff time, it'll be different, obviously, but I don't think this is necessarily needs to be a under pressure game, especially with no Anthony Edwards and no Jaden McDaniels. It's not necessarily a statement game. It's not necessarily a prove it kind of game or an under pressure kind of game. It's just, going to be a fun, interesting game. between two good teams that, want to win. Charlotte needs to continue to win in order to, again, to battle out of this play-in situation and get to a top 6 seed. Minnesota doesn't necessarily need to continue to win because they, for the most part, not mathematically, but for the most part, have locked in that 6 seed. So both teams really want to win to make sure that they hold on to their certain scenarios or battle out of their certain scenarios. And back to Brandon Miller real quick. Brandon Miller, 2.8 turnovers. As long as you're under 3, I'll live with it. Right? As long as you're under 3, we're good. Anything 3 or over gets crazy. Carson said, if we make the playoffs, I hope we don't play Boston. But anyone else would be fun to watch. I think they would lose, but I think it will be a close series. For the Charlotte Hornets, I still think it'd be a fun, interesting series against the Celtics. I wouldn't necessarily count you out on that one either, though. I think the Charlotte Hornets have the highest potential to cause a first-round upset for sure. Whether it's the Pistons, the Celtics, the Knicks, or the Cavs as the top 4 seeds right now, I think the Charlotte Hornets have a decent chance of pulling off an upset against any one of those teams. I wouldn't necessarily pick them in any of those series, but I definitely think that is going at least 6. Like, I don't really see any scenario where that's a 4 or 5 game series, obviously unless there's maybe, unfortunately, some injuries. And the star often for this Charlotte Hornets team, Knipple, 19 points per game, 5.3 boards, 3.4 assists. The conversation is starting to heat up between he and Cooper Flagg after Cooper Flagg had that 50-point explosion. Obviously, Knipple has put up extremely historic rookie numbers, especially from three-point range, or maybe particularly from three-point range, as over 40% from 3, almost 50% from the field, 87 from the foul line, 19 a game, 5 boards, 3.5 assists. My guy is a future star for sure. Definitely going to be named an all-star over the next couple of years. Still needs to improve his game a bit in order to fully reach those levels, but the confidence has continued to grow all season long. He's been fantastic. Johnson, what's up, Johnson? Spurs, Knicks, 99 rematch. Boy, oh boy, would I love that. I would like, especially the way the Knicks have played the Spurs this year. Just saying. Over the course of three games, the Knicks won the NBA Cup championship game against the Spurs. They absolutely trounced them the last time they were in MSG, but then also, even when the Knicks made the trip up to San Antonio on New Year's Eve, during that West Coast road trip, the Knicks were up by 16 points in that game and ultimately gave it up in the second half, and particularly in that fourth quarter, because Julian Champagnie had to have a career night. I'm just saying, the Knicks seem to match up pretty decently well against that San Antonio team. I'm just saying. But obviously, it's a long road before we could even start to discuss that again, because both of those teams outside of a finals matchup are done playing each other. Knipple, since the return of Brandon Miller and since he's returned back to form, Knipple can at times be the go-to guy or the second guy in command, or fall back into the third option, depending on how the other two guys are playing and how the defenses are approaching them. And the way this Hornets team continues to move and set off ball screens, and move the ball around as a whole, it really allows guys like Knipple, who's great at decision making, to play alongside a wild card like LaMelo Ball and a really solid settling force in Brandon Miller, to really complement each other extremely well. Knipple, like I said, whether he wins it or Cooper Flagg wins it, these two guys have been absolutely spectacular. And if he does win it, he is very much deserving of so with the way he's played. Fear the Deer. What's up, Fear the Deer? I can't wait till the Wolves game. We got about 5 minutes before tip-off. All right, we gotta go as quickly as possible. End of days. What's up, end of days? Knicks will lose in the first round. It's possible with the way the Knicks played, for sure. Kobe White has been one of the best trade deadline acquisitions. If I were the Minnesota Timberwolves, funny that these two teams are matching up, because the Timberwolves ended up with Ayo Dosunmu from the Bulls, while the Charlotte Hornets ended up with Kobe White. If I were Minnesota, I definitely, and maybe they did, but I definitely would have preferred to target Kobe White and given up whatever I needed to in order to acquire him. I know Ayo Dosunmu was probably cheaper, but man, Kobe White is definitely better than Ayo Dosunmu. And Ayo Dosunmu is really good, but Kobe White brings this level of on-ball creativity that the Charlotte Hornets desperately needed, because LaMelo Ball is really their only guy who can actually, from the perimeter, dribble it into the paint against the defense and then make a decision from there, can crack the defense. When LaMelo Ball, before this trade, when LaMelo Ball was out of the game, the Charlotte Hornets really struggled offensively because they didn't have anybody who can break down the defense to any degree. to back him up. They were relying on Trey Mann, and now that Kobe White is healthy and playing for the Charlotte Hornets, boy, oh boy, does it feel like their offense continues to come at you over and over and over and over again. There is no rest for the weary when you play the Charlotte Hornets. Herman White with the Perman. Knipple will coach the Charlotte Hornets 2050. Fear of the Deer said, Wolves are bigger in height? Sure. The Spurs are far bigger in height to the Charlotte Hornets, and Charlotte Hornets absolutely trounced them in Charlotte weeks ago. Height does not mean better at all. Charlotte Hornets are extremely good. The Knicks are significantly bigger than the Charlotte Hornets too, and the Charlotte Hornets absolutely matched them in physicality and were able to dominate the boards against the Knicks, and the Knicks are one of the best rebounding teams in the league. Miles Bridges is a bit of a wild card for the Charlotte Hornets too. He's a jack of all trades but master of none. He can knock down threes, but he's inconsistent. He can post up, but he's inconsistent. He can score, but he's inconsistent. He's a good enough defender. He's a good enough shooter. He's a good enough finisher in the paint. He's a good enough rebounder and whatnot to hold his own. But when you pair him alongside the top three guys, you can really start to accentuate his strengths and hide his weaknesses. And Moussa Diabate is the story of the season for the Charlotte Hornets. Coming into the season, they really had no idea what they were going to do at center. They knew they were going to give Diabate a chance. They knew they had Kalkbrenner in as a second-round pick they were going to give a chance to. They had Mason Plumlee for a bit on this team, and they were just like, we'll throw a couple of these guys out there, and maybe one of them proves that they can, play enough minutes as a starter. And Moussa Diabate exploded on the season and been absolutely fantastic and has really announced himself to the NBA. He's smaller than you want at the center spot. He can get dominated by bigger players like a Jalen Duren or obviously like a Wemby or maybe even like a Karl Anthony Towns. But for the most part, the Charlotte Hornets also understand this. Good for them. And they've done a really good job of game planning around size like that as a team to defend your bigger players. Fear of the Deer said Io is starting today. He is indeed starting. He's been starting for a while because Anthony Edwards has missed a couple of games here. And even when Anthony Edwards comes back, he'll probably remain in the starting lineup with Jaden McDaniels still out recovering from a knee injury that he probably won't recover from until game one of the playoffs and maybe even not ready for that game. Grant Williams has been a really solid, steady veteran force for this team. He's not going to put up he's not going to put up fantastic numbers, but he comes in, he knocks down shots, he plays good enough defense, he communicates, he keeps the confidence high for this team, and that's very valuable for a young team winning for the first time in a while. Herman said Mayo's name is concreted with the Charlotte Hornets. It is indeed, for better or for worse. Trey Mann is no longer in the rotation since the arrival and debut of Kobe White. But shout out Trey Mann. Tajon Salon also kind of removed from the rotation. He's too much of a wild card. Young player, still developing. Showed some signs this year, and I think that's a really positive direction for the Charlotte Hornets and Salon. But he's going to have to improve significantly if now the Charlotte Hornets team suddenly is in like, oh, we're competing legitimately now and not like, oh yeah, we're still rebuilding, we'll give these young guys a chance. Now that you're actually winning basketball games, you got to start contributing to winning and not, good game here, bad game there. You got to consistently bring it every single night, and that's part of the reason why he's no longer in the rotation right now. Too important to try and win basketball games. Doing Too Much said, who do you think takes this game? Too difficult to tell. I'm really going to be interested to see how they attack Rudy Gobert defensively here, and how Rudy Gobert attacks the Diabate matchup, because obviously Gobert is much bigger, Randle's much bigger, but they have Miles Bridges to match up with Randle physicality-wise and size-wise, and Diabate is going to be interesting to see how he matches up with Gobert and if Gobert can take advantage of his size and inside. Right? So this is because the Minnesota Timberwolves, for the most part, have enough guys to guard the Charlotte Hornets out on the perimeter as best as you can with this fantastic Charlotte Hornets perimeter team, with their three guys between Ball, Knipple, and Miller. But inside is always going to be the question for the Charlotte Hornets, because obviously, like we talked about, like Ryan Kalkbrenner is their backup center, and as a rookie, he's not that great. He's inconsistent. Actually, Kalkbrenner getting the start. Is Diabate not available? I just checked the injury report. He was not listed on it. Yeah, Diabate's not listed on their injury report, but Kalkbrenner's in the starting lineup. So, all right, Kalkbrenner's in the starting lineup. And now we get to the Minnesota Timberwolves real quick. We're about to get the tip-off. No Anthony Edwards, no Jaden McDaniels. Let's talk about Julius Randle real quick, who's playing pretty good basketball these past couple of games, starting to get it going, trying to get into playoff form, getting ready for the run here, because obviously they're going to have a tough road if they ever want to make that championship run. They've been to the last 2 Western Conference finals here, so who's to say that they can't do it 3 years in a row and then maybe even this time break through and make the finals. But Mike Conley's back in the starting lineup again, like I said. Oh, no, Diabate is in the starting lineup. All right, they put it the wrong graphic. Diabate's available. He's playing. Cool. Julius Randle is going to be matched up against Miles Bridges, and he'll have Diabate on the back end guarding him with Rudy Gobert standing beside him, protecting the paint. So it's going to be important for Julius Randle to knock down his jump shots here tonight. Rudy Gobert, his matchup against Diabate, to me, will decide this game. Can Rudy Gobert dominate the paint, or will Diabate do a good enough job of keeping him off the glass and keeping him away from the basket? Gobert at about 7'1", probably 7'2" in shoes with the long wingspan. If they can find ways to feed him down low, it'll be a tough night for Charlotte to overcome. No Jaden McDaniels, Ayo Dosunmu available, and in the starting lineup with the absence of Anthony Edwards, of course. Let's get to the game. Here we go. Charlotte wins the tip. And Ball leads it off for Knipple, gets it over to Diabate. Diabate up top. Hands it off to Bridges, over to Diabate. Diabate being guarded by Gobert. Hands it off to Miller, coming to his left, driving it down in the paint. Wild scoop play with the left hand, can't get it to go down. Tried to go on get, no glass. And then the loose ball rebound finds its way back to the Hornets. And knocked out of bounds by Randle. Good effort from Randle. Also, let's do this. A little too low. There we go. Miller gets it in the ball. Ball has it up top. Dancing with it against DiVincenzo, who gets the start on LaMelo Ball here. Ball gets it over to Knipple, being chased by Conley. That's a tough matchup for Conley as Knipple attacks him off the bounce, puts up the little jumper over him, can't get it to go. Rebound to Gobert. Here comes Randle. Randle bringing it down. He has it up top. Randle gets it over to Gobert. Gobert hands it off to Conley. Conley gets it over to Gobert, back to Conley. Really methodical offense here for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Randle's got to let it fly in the left wing from 3, can't get it to go. Didn't really develop anything offensively there for Minnesota on their first possession. LaMelo Ball has it, dancing with it against Conley. Euro steps down the lane, leans in, leaves it off for Diabate in the paint, kicks it back over to Ball. He puts it up, falling out of bounds over Conley, and he got it to go. Nothing but net for LaMelo Ball in his first shot of the night. Here comes Minnesota bringing it down, looking for an answer. Randle up top, leaves it off for Dosunmu. Dosunmu coming to his right off the Gobert screen. Pull up 3 for Ayo Dosunmu. Comes up short, can't get it to go. Rebound to Miles Bridges. Quick outlet to Ball. Ball pushing the other way. He's going to stop, pump fake. Gets it over to Miller in the lane. He throws up the floater, and he gets it to go down. And that's LaMelo Ball dribbling it down in a hurry, hesitating from three-point range, forcing the defense to react, and then hitting Brandon Miller as the trailer, cutting down the middle of the lane. It's a 5-0 start. Gobert has it up top, being guarded by Diabate. Diabate sagging back, does not want to guard Gobert out by the three-point line, hands it off to DiVincenzo. He quickly catches and fires, and he knocks it down. A big-time shot for Dante. And they're going to need Dante's impact here tonight. Gobert hits the floor, slips and falls, gets tripped up. Something happened. Diabate wide open under the basket for a two-handed slam. And Gobert is very slow to get up and now stretching that leg out as he walks down the court. Gobert up top, hands it off to DiVincenzo, just hit a 3, coming to his right, puts up another one. Dante, 2 for 2 to start the night. And we could see Dante's Inferno in full effect here tonight as he starts off 2 for 2 from 3. Ball off a screen, puts up the straightaway 3 off the back rim, can't get it to go. Ayo Dosunmu knocks the rebound over to Randle, and Randle will bring it down. Randle up top, driving it down against Diabate in the lane, kicks out to Conley. Conley a left wing 3, wide open, got it to go down for old man Mike. And the 3 straight threes to open up the game for the Minnesota Timberwolves gives them a 2-point lead. And then Rudy Gobert got something to say to, it looks like Brandon Miller. And we're getting feisty already. We are getting feisty already. Foonpay said the count of DiVincenzo, a tale of revenge. Eric Lyerly, what's up, Eric? Are you doing 2 games today? We are in the process of doing our second game, Eric. We did a game earlier today. We did what was the game we did? I already forget. What was the game we did earlier today? Hold on, let me remember. Oh, we did the Toronto Raptors versus the Boston Celtics. This is our second game. Fear of the Deer said Naj Reid will have a good game today. He's going to need to. He is, in my estimation, the barometer of this Timberwolves team. Brandon Miller, a mid-range jumper over Gobert, got it to go. When Naj Reid has a good game, the Timberwolves tend, as a team, to have a good game. When he doesn't, they really tend to find ways to generate offense without him, especially without Edwards and McDaniel so far. Randle hands it off to Conley. They go under the handoff action, and Conley makes them pay by knocking down their 4th straight 3. 4 threes to open up the game for the Charlotte Hornets. Ball down the lane, kicks it out to Miles Bridges. They leave him open from 3, and he makes them pay by knocking down the 3. And back and forth, these two teams swing so far. A couple of haymakers being thrown from both sides. And now here comes Dosunmu bringing it down. They get it over to Randall. Randall, jab step, dancing around a Gobert screen. Diabate switches onto him. Randall, looking for somebody, swings through to his left, has it in the post against Diabate, backing him down. Leans in, little shimmy, kicks it out. DiVincenzo on the relocation right wing. He knows he missed it because he's immediately tagging the offensive glass, but he can't recover it. It falls back into the hands of Diabate. Bridges pushing it down and gets fouled by DiVincenzo. And the little hip check bump as he's dribbling it up the court, and we're tied at 12. Twilson, what's up, Twilson? Mo Hunter, what's up, Mo? Little over 8 to go. Knipple has it up top, being guarded by Conley. Knipple coming to his right. Randall switches onto him. They lob it over to Miles Bridges, being guarded by Conley. Backing him down. Driving to his right. Bullying his way into the paint. Leans in. Goes up with the lefty flip shot. In and out, can't get it to stay. Bridges the offensive rebound. Flips it up. Gets it to go. And the foul for Miles Bridges. He'll go to the foul line for one more. And Charlotte continuing the pressure here. They're getting it from the perimeter. They're getting it from the inside. They're getting it from the mid-range, while Minnesota very reliant on their three-point makes right now to generate offense for themselves. Have yet to hit a two-pointer. All 12 of their points have come off from 12 threes. 4 threes. Bruce Fowler, what's up, Bruce? Sinister Strange, what's up, Sinister? Who do you think is going to win today? I think the team that scores more points will end up winning today. Charlotte is the healthier team right now, so I'm going to lean Charlotte. Ayo Dosunmu up top, coming to it for Randall screen. Back to Randall. Randall at the foul line, kicks it back out to Dosunmu. Dosunmu, pump fakes, gets it back to Randall. Randall up top, straightaway, being guarded by Bridges. He settles for the straightaway three, and he knocks down the straightaway three. 5 threes to open up the game for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Again, they have yet to hit a two-pointer. All 15 of their points coming from 5 threes. Knipple loses the handle on the cut, throws up a wild shot, rebounded by Conley. Randall bringing it down, hands it off to Conley. Conley catches, pump fakes over to Randall. He'll take the lane in the paint, kicks it out. Ayo Dosunmu, extra pass. DiVincenzo, extra pass. Dosunmu, pump fakes, takes the lane, kicks it out. Conley, he'll put up the three after wide open. Great ball movement, can't get it to go. It does not matter. They call an off-ball foul on Rudy Gobert, trying to set a mini Gortat screen on the kick out to three. And now it ends up being a turnover. Giving up too many shots. Decent rotation from the Hornets, but the Timberwolves overpassing on that possession there. A little over 7 minutes to go in this first quarter. DiVincenzo guarding LaMelo Ball up top. Ball gets it over to Bridges. Bridges being guarded by Randall. They get over to Diabate. Diabate being guarded by Gobert. Diabate trying to get it over to Ball, and they call a foul on Ayo Dosunmu, holding on to him, giving him a nice friendly hug, trying to deny him the ball. End of days with the end of days. Hornets will win. They very well could and probably should, considering no Anthony Edwards, no Jaden McDaniels. But this Timberwolves team is feisty and still have very good perimeter defenders. Like I said, it's going to be interesting to see how Charlotte overcomes the size disparity with Gobert and Randall on the inside and Naj Reid coming off the bench. Ball dancing with it up top off the Diabate screen. Snaking it back to his right hand. Throws up the floater. Bouncing on the rim a couple of times. Can't get it to stay. Battle for a loose ball. Dosunmu digs it out, but knocked out of bounds by Ball. It'll go back to the Timberwolves here. And we're going to get a timeout as we're now under 7 minutes to go. 6:53 exactly. Finger Zus, what's up, Finger? Appreciate you, brother. Roderick Mack Jr., what's up, Rod? I need the Timberwolves to win. It would be nice if the Minnesota Timberwolves, 5 minutes into this game, can knock down a 2-point shot. This does not bode well for the remainder of the game that they've already knocked down 5 threes. 2 from Conley, 2 from DiVincenzo, 1 from Randall for their 15 points tonight, all from the three-point line. They got to get some twos at some point. The Charlotte Hornets has done a really good job of mixing up their attack so far here tonight. They've gone to the foul line. They've knocked down threes. They've gone into the paint. They've knocked down layups. They've knocked down little mid-range shots. They've knocked down floaters. So the Timberwolves are going to have to diversify their offensive attack here tonight. But if they want to kill them with 20-plus threes, I guess they could do that as well. They're just going to have to continue it the remainder of the game. The real Tom, what's up, Tom? Timberwolves are going to win for sure. I'm not sure about anything in life, let alone the winner of a basketball game. Fear of the Deer, what's up, Fear? Or Fear the Deer, what's up, Fear? Bones Highland would need to go off on the bench. It's whenever you're missing 2 starters, let alone 2 of your 3 best starters, it becomes, as much as possible, all hands on deck. You are not winning a basketball game with 2 or 3 guys playing well. You're going to need your guys off the bench. You're going to need Highland. You're going to need Naj Reid. You're going to need not Jalen Carter. You're going to need Kyle Anderson to give you something. You're going to need Terrence Shannon Jr. to give you something. If Jalen Clark comes into the game, you're going to need him. You're going to need as much from as many people as possible when you're down this 2 players like that. The real Tom said, I think this will be an overtime game. It could be. It very well could be. I think that's a tough ask for this Timberwolves team without a go-to clutch time player. Right? It's a tough ask with no Anthony Edwards, no McDaniels to run offense through at the end of the games like that. Sinister Strange. What's up, Strange? Who's your favorite team? The New York Knicks. We will be covering the New York Knicks tomorrow as they take on the Atlanta Hawks at Atlanta, so it's going to be a tough one. They haven't even, by the way, not only have all the Minnesota Timberwolves points come from the three-point line, they haven't even attempted a 2-point shot. All of their attempts have come from the three-point line. 5 for 8 from 3, and 0 for 0 from 2-point range. My goodness. Sean Johnson, what's up, Sean? I'm a fellow Knicks fan. We cover every single Knicks game of every single season, Sean. We will be covering the Knicks tomorrow. The Knicks, I cover as much NBA basketball as possible. We cover every single team. We have covered every single team. But the Knicks always take priority. If the Knicks are playing, we're covering their game. No matter any other games that are on. Here we go. We're back into it. Conley coming to his left. Stops, pulls it out, gets it over to DiVincenzo. DiVincenzo back to Conley. Conley, over the top pass to DiVincenzo. Lost the handle, and it goes out of bounds. DiVincenzo just didn't catch the pass cleanly. Slipped out of his hands. Sean said we got to hold on to the 3 seed by any means necessary, brother. By any means necessary. Tough 4-game stretch to end the season here, but, you know, if you fancy yourself a championship contending team, take care of business to end the season. Knipple swings through to his left, down the lane, kicks it out the ball. Doesn't have anybody to swing the ball to, so he keeps it up top. Coming to his left off of the Abate screen, stops, pump fake, pass fake. Now swings it out to Knipple, driving to his left on Conley. Knipple obviously with the size advantage, but Conley, playing extremely well, strips Knipple, saves it inside, but it finds right back to Ball. Ball will fire a left wing 3, and he'll knock down a left wing 3. LaMelo Ball 2 for 2 from 3-point range tonight, and it's 18-15. 6 minutes to go here in this first quarter. DeSumo gets it over to Gobert, back to Randall. Randall up top being guarded by Diabate. He'll sidestep 3. Randall will come up short, rebound to Knipple. And again, 0 2-point attempts for the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight. Absolutely disgusting performance. DiVincenzo does a great job of jumping the passing lane and getting the steal. They tried to throw a quick interior pass to Diabate. DiVincenzo read it all the way. And now Minnesota on the other end. They lob it over to Randall in the post, being guarded by Knipple. Spins towards the baseline, stops, turns, spins, tries to kick it back up top. The DeSumo goes into the backcourt, and it's going to be a backcourt violation. And again, 0 shot attempts, 5:30 to go in this first quarter, and 0 shot attempts inside the 3-point line is crazy. Crazy. Lil J said, I got Randall going for 25 tonight. He's going to need to. Somebody's going to need to. Alan Cita. Happy to see you again, Alan Cita. Morning. Appreciate you, Alan Cita. We are approaching nighttime for me. It's 7:30 here. 7:30 p.m. here for me. The real Tom said McDaniels and Edwards doesn't play until the NBA playoffs. Probably, most likely. Right? They pretty much have that 6 seed locked in for the most part. So might as well just sit them and try to get them as healthy as possible for the playoff run. Adam Pantano, what's up, Adam? Easy for Charlotte tonight? I wouldn't necessarily say easy, but they should for sure be able to pull off this victory. They are indeed, should be the favorites here today. Miller misses the straightaway 3. Here comes Bones Highland, who just subbed in. Over to DeSumo, over to Naj Reid. Naj Reid hands it off to DiVincenzo. Reid is in for Randall. Highland is in for Conley. Reid dancing with it. Spins off of Brandon Miller, puts up the hook shot, can't get it to go. Battle for the loose ball rebound. Reid picks it up, throws up the floater off the back rim, can't get it to go. Fight for the rebound, knocked out of bounds by Bridges. It'll stay here with Minnesota. 5 minutes to go. Naughty Ghost, what's up, Naughty Ghost? Hoping for the Pistons and Hornets in the first round, but I think Boston and New York is going to get that honor. Would prefer not to play the Charlotte Hornets. I'll tell you that as a Knicks fan, Naughty Ghost. The Knicks do not match that well with the Charlotte Hornets. I think the Knicks would still win that series, but it'll be a dogfight and it'll be a scare. Same as last year when they played the Pistons, same as the year before that when they played Philly. Highland has it on the right wing, dancing with it. Hesitation pull-up three over LaMelo Ball. Toilet bowl is out halfway down, but it pops right back out. And now here come the Charlotte Hornets bringing it down. Miller up top, coming to his right off a high screen from Grant Williams. Pulls it back out as Reed switches onto him. Miller's going to dance with the ball, crosses over to his right on Reed, gets under the paint, kicks out to Grant Williams. Extra pass the ball, ran off the line by Highland in the paint. Stops, no look pass. Brandon Miller wide open, right corner three. Got it to go. What a play for the Charlotte Hornets. Great extra passing, great manipulation and decision making for LaMelo Ball. Instead of firing up that three or throwing up a mid-range floater, he instead pulled the defense in and then hit the no-look pass to Sunu down the lane, knocks down the right-handed flip shot past LaMelo Ball on the bump euro, and it's now 21-17, the first two-point basket for the Timberwolves here tonight, and it comes at about 4 minutes to go. LaMelo Ball off the screen, puts up the three, can't get it to go. His first miss up from three-point range here tonight after hitting his first two. DiVincenzo has it up top. He's being guarded by Grant Williams, spins off the Gobert screen, puts up the three, can't get it to go, comes up short, battle for the loose ball. Sion James ends up with it. He's pushing the other way, hits it over to Grant Williams. He catches, pump fakes on Gobert, cross-court pass to Miller, right corner three, DiVincenzo flying at him, hits the side of the backboard, right back to Miller, back out to Ball. Ball the three on the relocation, got it to go, and that's now 3 threes in this first quarter for LaMelo Ball. 24-17, 3:30 to go in this first quarter. And the Timberwolves looking for an answer. Dosunmu has it up top, gets it over to Reed. Reed hands it off to Highland. Highland on the left wing being guarded by Grant Williams. Highland directing traffic. They get it over to Naj Reed in the post being guarded by Miller. Reed trying to go right through his chest. Drop step, pump fake, spins the other way, flips it up with the right hand, can't get it to go. Gobert battling for it, knocks the ball in the air. Gobert steps through, gets the lefty layup to go. And there's Minnesota using their size down low. This is what I thought Julius Randle would do, but instead it's coming from Naj Reed. And you know what? It kind of is what it is. But ultimately, Naj Reed and Rudy Gobert able to secure that offensive rebound down low. Gobert finally getting the put back up and in. Naj Reed has missed a couple of very makeable shots in the paint, a couple of flip shots he's missed that he normally knocks down. So it's going to be interesting to see. Again, like I said, this game to me is going to come down to who controls the paint, or at least how Charlotte maintains paint control for the most part, as long as it doesn't get out of control against Rudy Gobert, Naj Reed, and Julius Randle in their front court. And even if it does, can they make up for it with their perimeter game? Angela Harding with Evangela. You rooting for the Hornets? I'm not really rooting for any side here. It doesn't really matter for me as a Knicks fan. It kind of just is what it is. I'm rooting for a good game. Always going to root for a good game. Sean said, I want the Raptors. As a Knicks fan, I want the Raptors. The Knicks have dominated that matchup all season, and the Raptors generally really struggle against the top-tier teams in the NBA. They just run out of offense. They don't have enough good offensive players on that team, and they definitely don't have enough shooting. I can't take another close first-round matchup. Knicks need an easier first-round opponent. Yeah, I think every single season the Knicks have been in the playoffs, their first-round matchup has always teetered on like a nightmare occasion. Going back to the first time they made the playoffs with Julius Randle leading the helm in Tom Thibodeau's first season, and they matched up against the Hawks, and everybody picked them to beat the Hawks, and they lost in 5 games. Going back to that, the Knicks have had really rough first-round matchups, man. They can never catch a break. But it kind of just is what it is. Nadigo said, going to be a really fun first round no matter who draws Charlotte. Yeah, Charlotte's really good. Charlotte's really good. I think they have a puncher's chance against literally every first round opponent. Against the Pistons, against the Celtics, against the Knicks, against the Cavs. I think Charlotte is probably the most likely lower tiered team to shock the NBA world this season. They won't be favored in any of those series, and nor do I think they should be, but they could absolutely, if they get hot, they could absolutely knock somebody off and surprise them. Nadigo said, pretty sure everyone has been dominating the Raptors. Yeah, that's why I also slipped in there that they really struggled against the top-tier teams in the league this year. They run out of offense, man. They run out of offense. I don't even think they're making it to the play-in, making it out of the play-in. I think Detroit will draw Orlando. That'll be an interesting first-round matchup because obviously Orlando, even though they've really struggled as of late, Orlando just getting Franz Wagner back. If he can get back to any semblance of the Franz Wagner that he was before the injury, that could be a tough matchup. Could be. But it's obviously completely dependent on how Franz Wagner looks out of that injury. And then can Paolo Banchero be a good basketball player again? I don't know. It feels like he just kind of has lost confidence or has completely given up on this coaching staff. If there was any coaching staff in the NBA marked for firing already, it's Orlando and Jamal Mosley, unfortunately. He is seemingly lost that locker room, if it appears as. All right, here we go. We got to, oh, I don't even have this up for you guys properly. Here we go. These are the players on the court currently. After the substitutions, Kobe White comes in. White has it up top being guarded by Dosunmu. Dosunmu gets it over to Kalkbrenner. Kalkbrenner gets it over to Grant Williams. Grant Williams hands it off to Zion James. Zion James up top. Gets it over to Brandon Miller. Miller coming to his left. Highland switched onto him. Driving to his right. In the mid-range. Fall-away jumper. Comes up short. Rebound. Zion James kicks it out to Kobe White. No hesitation three with the defender closing out to him. And he knocks it down anyway over his former teammate, Ayo Dosunmu. And I forgot to give Gobert his layup previously, my bad. It's 27-19 now. 8-point lead for the Charlotte Hornets. They're pulling away here. Again, the Minnesota Timberwolves really struggling in two-point range as Naj Reid comes up short on a floater. Zion James, the rebound. Quick outlet to White. White on the right wing. Gets it over to Grant Williams. Back to White. Coming to his left. Has it in the mid-range. Pulls it out as Randall switched onto him. Kobe White dancing with it, coming to his left, hesitates, driving it down, kicks it out Zion James, extra pass to Grant Williams. He puts up the right corner three, got blocked by Naj Reid, and Randall able to pick up the rebound. Quick outlet to Naj Reid. He has it on the left wing, picked up by James, leaves it off for Dosunmu. Dosunmu hesitating, pump fakes inside to inside to my goodness, I lost his name. Inside to Kyle Anderson, who feeds it off to Julius Randle, cutting down the right side of the court. Randall draws the foul, misses the layup, will go to the foul line for two. My goodness, I completely lost Kyle Anderson's name for a second there. Douglas Canny, what's up, Douglas? Is Knipple playing? He is indeed. JP Crusher, what's up, JP? Need more chef's hats. The red one doesn't match every outfit. Yeah, but the red one is the staple of the channel. It is the color of the channels. And also red and blue, not bad. This outfit definitely still matches. The red and blue still matches. Anime Connoisseur, what's up, Anime? 6 picks, $10 with 162 times multiplier. I'm rooting for you, brother. Man, what's up, man? Moncaro is not the franchise player Bane is. And neither of them are the franchise player that Franz Wagner is. Kobe White bringing it down. Being guarded by Dosunmu. Randall did knock down both of those free throws. 27-21. Grant Williams gets it over to Kalkbrenner. Kalkbrenner up top being guarded by Randall. Hands it off to Miller. Miller has Naj Reid switched onto him. They kick it in the corner. Zion James a three. Highland got a piece of it, but he's out of bounds when he recovers the loose ball. And that's the second corner three we've seen Minnesota block from Charlotte in a row. Naj Reid blocked Grant Williams in the right corner. Now Highland blocks Zion James in the left corner. They kick it up top to Zion James, dancing with it as he's bringing it down. Hands it off to Kobe White, being guarded by Kyle Anderson. Kicks it back over to James, back to Kobe White. White coming to his left. Kicks it out to Zion James. They'll live with Zion James shooting a three. He pump fakes, relocates, puts up the three, off the back rim, can't get it to go. Brandon Miller skies for a rebound, over to Kobe White in the relocation. Can't get that three to go down. Rebounded by Highland, pushing the pace the other way, over to Kyle Anderson. Kyle Anderson leads it off to Highland, coming to his right after Anderson screen, down the lane in the paint. Snakes it back to his right hand, dribbles behind the three-point line, directing traffic over to Anderson, back to Highland, coming to his left, snaking it back to his right hand, back to Anderson in the lane. He throws up the little push shot floater, can't get it to go, fight for the loose ball rebound. Naj Reid battling for it and falls onto the floor with Kalkbrenner as it ends up being a jump ball. Too much standing around for the Timberwolves on that possession, and it just became a Highland and Kyle Anderson two-man game for about 15 seconds there for the Timberwolves. Eric C, what's up, Eric? Hope you're having a great Easter. It's been good. We had a really good first game with the Raptors and the Celtics. Hopefully we have a much better an even more entertaining game here with the Hornets and the Timberwolves. The Hornets win the tip. And there's 50 seconds to go. Kobe White bringing it down, being guarded by Dosunmu. White dancing with it, crosses over. White holding on to it as long as he can, trying to wind down as much time as possible. Kobe White directing traffic, crossing over to his right, kicks it over to Brandon Miller. Brandon Miller up top. He spots up for a deep left wing three. Way off on that one. Wide right. Ball careens out of bounds. And it'll go back to the Timberwolves here. JP said OKC is going to win the championship. They're the favorites to do so. LP, what's up, LP? Love that outfit. Inspires unity in today's political charged environment. Your outfit calls for unity. That's not what red and blue stands for, but sure, brother. Sure. Ayo Dosunmu bringing it down. 25 seconds to go. There's about a 3-second difference between game clock and shot clock. By the way, we got 4 pink bunnies. 4 pink Easter bunnies sitting in the front row here in Minnesota. All right. Dosunmu up top. They'll hold it for what could be the final shot of the quarter. They get it to Rain on the high post, being guarded by Miller. He faces up. Hesitates, tries to swing through, down, runs right into the defender, loses the ball to turnover. Sion James leaves it off to Diabate inside the Grant Williams, pump fakes, and Naj Reid comes flying into Grant Williams, lands on top of him, and 1.5 on the clock will give Grant Williams 2 free throws here. Oof, tough. Anime said, I got Dosunmu for 28 PRA, not my greatest pick, but yeah. Yeah, Dosunmu doesn't really stuff the stat sheet like that, but it could happen. Could have a big explosive offensive game. Grant Williams knocks down the first one. He's got another one coming. Foongpei said both the hat and the color are incidental. It's not incidental. It's just got nothing to do with anything outside of basketball. Connor Benson, what's up, Connor? Dosunmu got 4.5 rebounds. I'm rooting for you, brother. I'm rooting for you. Grant Williams knocks down both of his free throws. Dosunmu, the 3/4 court heave, misses the backboard. And that will be the end of our first quarter. Got 36 minutes left to go here tonight. An 8-point lead for the Charlotte Hornets and all the momentum, to be honest. The Minnesota Timberwolves scored 3 2-pointers. 3. Outside of that, they hit 5 threes to keep them within striking distance against the Hornets here tonight. They're not doing a very good job at all of getting inside the paint. We've had a couple of games already wrap up here tonight. Now, the earlier game of the night was the game we already covered, and that was the Raptors taking on the Celtics. We know the Celtics ultimately pulled away and dominated that one. Here tonight, ended 115-101. It was a close game up until the fourth quarter in which the Celtics got off to a hot start and then never looked back, and then hadn't looked back since. The Pacers are taking on the Cavs. It's a pretty clse game so far. Got to root for the Pacers because we got to make sure they don't end up with a top 4 pick, man. We got to make sure it does not happen, man. Not after the Zubac trade and they're going to get Halliburton back next year. My goodness, man. My goodness. Anime said, what do you think about Steph Curry's return? I think shout out Steph Curry. He's always going to be a fun, entertaining player. But the Warriors aren't doing anything whatsoever. Come playoff time. So shout out Steph Curry. Enjoy him for the last couple of games of this regular season, and then hopefully he can come back next year and give us, another fun season. The Pacers up by 2 on the Cavs so far, 74-72. It's a close one. Obviously, we're covering Hornets Timberwolves here tonight. Magic Pelicans and a tight one at the end of the first, 29-28. Jazz and the Thunder. That one seems already over, 42-25. You got the Lakers Mavs later tonight. Clippers Kings later tonight, as well as Rockets Warriors, of course, covering the Warriors, the Steph Curry return to the Warriors. I will not be covering that, but the league will be covering it as an NBC national television game. And then the games that have already wrapped up, the Nets beat the Wizards. As a Knicks fan, love to see that because we got the Wizards second round pick, so you want it to be as high as possible. So you want them to be the worst team in the league, so the Knicks can get the 31st pick. The Suns did ultimately pull it off against the Bulls in a 10-point victory. A closer game than you wanted it to be, but a win is a win nonetheless. The Bucks did end up beating the Jazz in what amounts to pretty much a nothing game. But that's pretty much where we're at so far here today. Muggsy Reels, what's up, Mug? Pacers should trade the top pick for Giannis. What salary are you matching? They don't have the salary to match, brother. You're trading Siakam and that pick for Giannis? I don't know if that's something they have the appetite to do so with Giannis's. By the way, they're rivals, so that's not happening. Kyle Anderson knocks down a mid-range pull-up jumper. They're not trading them to their rivals. Kobe White and Highland get tied up. It's going to be a jump ball. Great defense from Highland there. Stay in front of Kobe White. Anime said, what's your favorite team? My favorite team is the New York Knicks. LP said there's a rumor that's picking up steam, Curry to Charlotte. That's been a rumor for a long time, and Curry's not going anywhere. He's going to retire with the Golden State Warriors. Anime said mine might be the Celtics. That's rough, buddy. Jump for the battle for the loose ball. Kyle Anderson able to steal it after, and Highland puts up the three off the handoff. Got it to go for Bones Highland. Look at that. Right off the bench, Highland getting busy. Zion James has it up top, coming to his left off the Kalkbrenner screen, down the lane, stops, pulls it back out, kicks it out to Knipple. Knipple coming to his left, off the dribble, puts up the three, deep one, can't get it to go, rebound to Naj Reed. Naj Reed hit ahead to DiVincenzo. DiVincenzo bringing it down the other way, directing traffic, gets it over to Naj Reed, left wing, he fires up the three, no hesitation, off the back rim, can't get it to go, and Naj Reed has been really rough today, 0 for 5 from the field now. Does have 4 boards and assists. He's doing a good job all around, but at some point you got to put the ball in the basket. They definitely need you to do that. They kick it out to Zion James, ran up the line by Reed, in the middle of the lane. They swing it around. Knipple, wide open left corner three. Knipple finally gets one to go down for his first made three of the night. And the first made basket of the second quarter here for the Hornets. Highland has it up top, coming to his right, dancing around the Gobert screen, snaking it back to his left hand. He's going to double step back on the left wing for a three, just hit one from that spot, and he hits another one from that spot. And he gets those 3 points right back that he gave up to Knipple. And now here comes Kobe White pushing it the other way, being guarded by Anderson. Kobe White leaves it off for James. James gets it back to White. White catches, pump fakes to his left, down the lane, 1 foot floater with the one hand, can't get it to go. Naj Reed sneaks down there and steals the rebound away from Kalkbrenner, who is battling Gobert for it. Here comes Highland bringing it down the other way, coming to his left off the Gobert screen, stops, kicks it out. Naj Reed coming to his right, hands it off to DiVincenzo. DiVincenzo dancing around a Gobert screen, coming to his right, kicks it over to Reed, catches, pump fakes, driving it down in the lane. He throws the floater high off glass. He can't get it to go down, and Naj Reed continues to miss very makeable shots for him. These are shots you normally knocks down with regularity. They leave it off for Zion James. 1 rhythm dribble, puts up the three, still can't get it to go. Kalkbrenner, the offensive rebound, though, kicks it out to Kobe White, catches, pump fakes, coming to his left, down the lane, leans in, draws the foul. He's going to the foul line for 2 free throws off the missed floater and the foul on Naj Reed, who continues to be a bit of an offensive disaster. He's playing hard, he's hustling, he's snagging rebounds, he's moving the ball around, but boy, oh boy, do they need Naj Reed to knock down some shots here. So Kobe White's going to go to the foul line for 2 free throws with 9:45 to go. White knocks down the first one, he's got another one coming. Timberwolves still remain pretty heavily reliant on their 3-point makes tonight. Wouldn't necessarily be the case if Naj Reed knocked down a couple of these little flip shots in the paint, but he's 0 for 6 with 2 missed threes, so he's missed 4 shots in the paint so far here tonight. Would go a long way if they can get some of those to go down. DiVincenzo running off a couple of screens, gets wide open on the left wing for a 3, can't get it to go. Rebound to Kalkbrenner, here comes Kobe White. White has it up top, coming, spins to his right, off the Kalkbrenner, rejects that screen. White kicks it back up top to Bridges. Bridges being guarded by Reed. DiVincenzo hedges out to him. Bridges driving it down on DiVincenzo, spins off of him in the paint, throws up the flip shot with the right hand, got it to go down after Gobert was hesitant with Kalkbrenner standing behind him. He didn't want to fully commit to contesting that 3. Highland a deep straightaway when misses it. Not a good shot there. 9 minutes to go in this second quarter. Knipple bringing it down, leads back to 7. They get it over to Miles Bridges, driving to his left, inside pass to Kalkbrenner, stops, turns, spins, kicks it out with Rudy Gobert looming. They swing it around to White. White up top being guarded by Naj Reed. White coming to his right off the hesitation, driving it down in the paint, leans in, stops, turns, spins, 1-legged fall-away jumper, can't get it to go. Kalkbrenner snags the rebound over to Gobert, over to James, can't get the layup to go, well contested by Rudy Gobert. James hit the floor, it's a 5-on-4 fast break. Highland down the lane, takes the bump, layup, can't get it to go, but he's going to go to the foul line for 2, foul on Knipple. 8:30 to go in the second quarter. Cora, what's up, Cora? Who is your NBA Rookie of the Year? Just curious. It's a toss-up. Obviously, the two main candidates are Cooper Flagg and Con Knipple. I think Cooper Flagg has been the better player this year, but I think Knipple probably had a more impressive season. It's tough to even say that because Cooper Flagg's the number 1 guy on his team, while Con Knipple can rely on creation from LaMelo and Brandon Miller to pull attention away from him, and then he could just play off of that if he doesn't necessarily have it going that night. It's tough because all attention is on Cooper Flagg, so I want to say Cooper Flagg, but Con Knipple has been historic this year for a rookie. As Highland splits the free throws, battle for the loose ball, rebound out of bounds off of Charlotte. It's going to stay here with the Timberwolves. So I think I just talked myself into a circle, and I really want to say Cooper Flagg, even though I feel like Knipple is just as deserving of it. It could go either way. I'm fine with it going either way. It's a good question, Cora. And Charles Lee and the Charlotte Hornets are going to use a challenge here, I think. They are going to use a challenge here. See the replay on this? Yeah, that's off of Gobert's foot. So that's going to go back to Charlotte. They're going to change that call. It's a good challenge. Mugg said, "Who do you think should be the number one pick?" That's a really good question too. man, oh man. I'm taking if I have the number one pick, I'm taking DeBansta. It's not that I'm not a believer in Darren Peterson. I think those are your two candidates for the number one pick. I'm not taking Boozer with the number one pick with DeBansta and Peterson on the board. The top three, I think, will end up being in some combination DeBansta, Peterson, and Boozer. Obviously, that's the general consensus. I'm not breaking any news with that, but I just have to take, DeBansta is going to be good. You know for a fact. I think at worst, he'll be an RJ Barrett type of player, maybe slightly better because he's got more size and athleticism to him. At worst, he's RJ Barrett. And at best, he's, an all-star level guy. Maybe even an all-NBA, all-NBA, superstar level player for DeBansta. When it comes to Peterson, though, man, with the injuries he suffered, the weirdness of his college season, how reliant he is on the jump shooting, makes me a little nervous. I'm taking DeBansta number one. I'm not thinking too hard about it after that. Peterson 2, Boozer 3, and then from there, you got Wilson from North Carolina. You obviously got Acuff, who's had a fantastic college season and a fantastic tournament, or had a fantastic tournament. I'm taking DeBansta number one, though. I just got to lean on the guy who I know is just going to be really good, right? And I know DeBansta is going to be really good. Peterson, I hope, can be good. With, again, the weirdness of his season, the weird answers when he was asked about it and the team was asked about it. Asking out of games is never really a good look, even if he's got a legitimate reason to. I gotta lean to DeBansta. Gotta lean on the 6'8" athletic freak, who's played every game and scored 40 in his final game of the tournament and really tried to win that by himself. Philly Mike OG, what's up, Philly? SGA literally is knocked out right now, live on ESPN. This dude's literally asleep, being carted off as we speak. That's the hardest foul since the 90s? Really? What happened? Can anybody else confirm what happened to SGA in that game? Carted off is crazy. Tosin said, "I love Caleb Wilson, UNC top 5. He very well could be top 5. He could be 4. He could go over Boozer. Who knows? Sons Jen said, "Don't feed the propaganda, Pony." What propaganda? Pooh Shiesty's in the chat. Big brr. Shout out Pooh Shiesty in the chat. Conley has it up top. Here we go. We're back into it after the timeout. East Bay Verge with the Bees Bay. Cora said UConn or Michigan. Michigan's just the bigger, better team, even though I'm rooting for UConn. DiVincenzo down the lane, throws up a high floater. Can't get it to go off glass, but Rudy Gobert right there for the tip up and in. And this is what I talk about when I talk about who's going to be able to dominate the paint here today. Bridges kicks it out to LaMelo Ball, who was standing out of bounds, had his heels on the out of bounds line when he caught that pass in the corner. It's a turnover. Ball back to the Timberwolves here. Sean Johnson said, "Watch the Pacers somehow get the first pick a year after making the finals." That's what I'm rooting against, Sean. I hope they fall out of the top 4, so they have to give that pick over to the Clippers this year. So all that tanking was for nothing. All that tanking would have ended up being for Zubac. Highland on the left wing. Gets it over to Naj Reid. Naj Reid in the corner. Come to his right. Kicks it back up top to Highland. Highland comes to his right up the Gobert screen. Driving it down. Kicks in the corner to Conley. Conley in right corner 3. Got it to go for Mike Conley. His third made 3 of the night. He's got it going. It's a 1-point game. 36-35. Here comes LaMelo Ball bringing it down the other way. Hesitates from 3. Pulls it back out. Step back 3 over Rudy Gobert. Comes up short, long rebound. Conley knocks it out. DiVincenzo hit ahead to Gobert ahead of the pack. And he throws down a 2-handed slam. Look at Rudy Gobert out on the break by himself. And the Minnesota Timberwolves take a 1-point lead, 37-36. LaMelo Ball has it up top, being guarded by DiVincenzo. Sons Jen said the same guy always saying stuff in there. That's crazy. Knipple, left wing 3 contested, can't get it to go. Gobert with the rebound and gets fouled by Diabate. That's why I asked the chat to confirm or deny. Appreciate you, Sons Gen. Anime said my bracket sucked for NCAA. My bracket's never good. I don't, because of the NBA coverage, I don't get to watch enough college basketball to really make informed opinions. Seven minutes to go. They get it over to Highland. Highland being guarded by White. Coming to his right off the Gobert screen. Pull-up three for Highland. Got it to go for Bones Highland. He is feeling it tonight because he's launching a couple of crazy threes. That one off the Gobert screen just rose and knocked it down. Knipple swings through to his right, picks up his handle. Conley's played great defense on Knipple tonight. My goodness, the fact that they haven't been able to really attack Conley. Great drive and finish from Kobe White there. Off the wrong foot, flipped it up the left hand over Rudy Gobert, who mistimed that contest. And Highland bringing it down the other way, looking for an answer. Driving to his left, goes under the rim, stops, hesitates, spins. Inside pass to Gobert, and Gobert gets a two-handed slam over Kobe White. Great pass and manipulation and patience for Bones Highland, knowing the exact moment to give that pass over to Rudy Gobert without rushing it. Knipple spins off of Highland, gets the layup and the foul for Knipple. He's going to the foul line for one more. 42-40 after that made basket. Spark, what's up, Park? Rough second for Charlotte. Not the greatest second quarter for Charlotte, but I wouldn't, a little rough, but not too bad. Timberwolves are just playing very well. JP said college basketball is a decaf version of the NBA. It's not that exciting for me. You can't look at it as a... You just have to change the way you view watching basketball. Like when you watch NBA basketball, you know you are watching literally the best players in the world compete at a high level. When you watch college basketball, what you have to watch for is the passion that the players play with every single minute of every single game. It's not necessarily watching it for specifically great basketball. Like they're 18, 19, 20-year-old kids playing college basketball. Like they're going to make dumb plays and dumb mistakes, take dumb shots. The refs aren't the best refs in the world like they are in the NBA. They're going to make dumb calls that are going to feel really silly in the moment. As Conley misses a floater. Knipple did knock down his and one free throw, and on the other end, rushes it to the rim, misses the layup. Good contest from Dosunmu. It's a 5-on-4 as Knipple goes flying to the stands. Does a good job hustling back and gets back on defense. Randall attacking Diabate down the lane. Layup can't get it to go, but a foul on Musa Diabate is going to send Randall to the foul line for 2 free throws. Under 6 minutes to go. We're past the halfway point of this second quarter. JP said, I tried, but it just doesn't hit the spot like watching the NBA. Yeah, that's perfectly valid, JP. I know a lot of people who love NBA basketball and don't love college. I also know a couple of people who love college basketball, but have fallen out of love with NBA basketball. Carson said, dang, is it defense game, 36-40, 6 minutes left in the second. Both teams battling really hard. This is being played a little bit with some playoff intensity for sure. This is really important for both sides to win, more so for Charlotte because they're trying to battle out of that play-in spot as Randall knocks down the first free throw. He's got another one coming. But Minnesota obviously still wants to continue to play good basketball here. And they've really struggled to pick up really good victories these past couple of weeks. So this is an important game for them as well to try and build some confidence. Randall misses the second free throw. Ball bringing it down, being guarded by DiVincenzo. Gets it over to Miller, curling off a screen to his left. Stops, step back, pump fake, tries to step through. Good defense from Gobert. And Miller now has it. Kicks it out the ball. Ball up top. Swings through to his left. Ball on the left wing being guarded by Gobert. Ball's going to attack to his right. Blows right past him. Flips it over with the right hand. Got it to go down for LaMelo Ball. And we're tied at 43. Here comes Randall bringing it down, directing some traffic. 5:30 to go in this second quarter. Randall up top being guarded by Grant Williams. Randall gets it over to DiVincenzo. DiVincenzo over to Randall. Randall up top, coming to his right, crosses over to his left. In the lane, leans in, lefty layup. Got it to go down off the glass for Julius Randle. Nice court top screen from Gobert down there in the paint to free up Julius Randle attacking the basket. Knipple rushing it down the other way, trying to attack that Conley matchup. Leans in, gets blocked by Conley. No foul call. Home run pass, but Randall could not beat Grant Williams down the court. A bad pass. Just left it up in the air for somebody to steal, and Grant Williams did. Knipple up top, coming to his left, trying to attack quickly. Gobert guarding him, puts up the floater, comes up short. Battle for the loose ball. Knipple steals it away from Gobert. Not a good enough effort from Gobert, but LaMelo Ball misses the corner three, and Gobert snatches that rebound, and the Timberwolves catch a break. Ayo Dosunmu trying to quickly attack. Scoop layup with the right hand pass. Brandon Miller got it to go down. A tough finish for Ayo Dosunmu down there in the paint, and like I said, this has some playoff intensity here right now, as both teams rushing it into the paint, taking a lot of contact. LaMelo Ball crossing over on Randall, tries to get a little scoop layup past Julius Randle, draws the foul. He's going to go to the foul line for 2. If Randall doesn't have his forearm on the back of LaMelo Ball there, he probably likely gets away with the contact out on the perimeter and comes up with a clean block. But he's got his hand extended. And LaMelo Ball will shoot 2 free throws because of it. Anime said college football is better than college basketball, in my opinion. Depends on what sport you like. I'm not a big football fan, very casual NFL fan, so I don't really have almost zero interest in college football. Very unwatchable sport for me. Doing too much, said, what's up? Oh, shout out Foonpei. Shout out Foonpei. LaMelo Ball knocks down the first free throw. Mike, what's up, Mike? Ball goes 2 for 2 from the foul line. 2-point game yet again. 4:30 to go here. Dosunmu will bring it down. They get over to Conley. Conley over to Gobert. Gobert hands it off to Dosunmu. Swings through to his left off the handoff. Wide open left wing 3 on the relocation. Can't get it to go. Rebound to LaMelo Ball, who'll bring it down the other way. Ball pushing it. Ball up top. Dancing with the ball. Coming to his right. Wild swing pass over the head of Kobe White. DiVincenzo rushing it the other way. Over to Randall in the paint. Randall can't get the layup to go down. Come on, Julius. You got to go up stronger than that, big dog. Look to throw it down. Why are you going with these wild, crazy finger roll layup attempts? Battle for the loose ball after Brandon Miller transition missed straightaway 3. Diabate, Rudy Gobert doing a really bad job of boxing out Diabate and snagging that rebound. Diabate out-hustling Gobert there, knocks the rebound off of Gobert battling for it, and it's going to stay here with Charlotte. Under 4 to go. Doing too much said, who's your pick coming out of the West? Probably, I still got to rock with OKC. They're just the best basketball team in the NBA. And until proven otherwise, I'm just going to stick with them. So we have yet another challenge, this time for the Minnesota Timberwolves, challenging another out-of-bounds call. They're saying it's not off of the Timberwolves. They want the ball back here. The replay they showed looked like it perfectly nutmegged Rudy Gobert and didn't touch him, but they only showed us one bad angle. So here's an over the rim angle. It's Gobert and Diabate battling for it. Diabate jumps in the air, loses it, and you can't see if it touches Gobert as it goes under them. Bad angle. Here's another angle. Haku, what's up, Haku? Who will win this game? I don't know, brother. I think the team that scores more than the other will win this game. East Bay Verge with the East Bay. I'm not big on college sports either, but I will root for Cal or Stanford if they make some noise. Yeah, that's mostly how I am too, East Bay Verge. I mean, I love basketball, so of course I get into college basketball as well. But yeah, I don't have like a preference for any college teams. I always found it extremely weird when people are like, yeah, I'm like a UConn Huskies fan. I'm like, what? You're a fan of a college basketball team? I'm like, what? It still doesn't make sense to me to be a fan of a specific team. Now, if you went to that school, I get that. That makes sense to me. But like just being a random fan of a college team never made sense to me. Ever. So far today, so far tonight, Knipple really struggling. 2 for 9 from the field for Con. Who is now subbed out of the game. 2 for 9 from the field for Knipple. 1 made 3. 1 and 1 layup. And 7 misses. Julius Randle, 8 points, 2 boards, 2 assists. Gobert, 8 points and 6 rebounds. He's doing a decent job battling on the glass against Diabate and Kalkbrenner here tonight. You'll like to see that. I still don't know what the call is here. I believe that it is changed to a foul on Moussa Diabate for his 3rd, is what the call was. And he'll now be subbed out and go to the bench. And the ball goes back to Minnesota here. JP said, imagine coaching a bunch of college players who can't wait to get out of practice and workouts. A bunch of college players who can't wait to get out of practice and workouts? Brother, that's everybody. You think these NBA players want to be in practice and workouts? LaMelo Ball, off the miss from the Dante DiVincenzo 3, bringing it down the other way. Ball up top, coming to his left, catches, pump fakes, gets it over to Grant Williams, back to Ball, down the lane, throws up the floater, comes up short, but gets the friendly roll off the front of the rim, and he gets to the drop down. We're tied at 47 with 3:20 to go here in the second. Dosunmu pushing the other way, over to Gobert. Hands it off to Randall, swings through to his left, going quickly to the rim, layup, got it to go. They wave it off, and they say foul on the floor first. Shams Diaz, what's up, Shams? The Minnesota Timberwolves should win 3 quarters for them to win, right? Since the Hornets already won the first quarter. As long as they score more points by the end of the game, the Minnesota Timberwolves will win, brother. Fear the Deer said Wolf had a young center that is 19. Wolves? The Timberwolves have a young center? Yeah, we're talking about Joan Behringer. Julius Randle knocks down the first free throw. He's got another one coming. They're in the bonus. So it doesn't end up being an and one, but he does get 2 free throws out of it. Randall knocked down the first one. He's got another one coming. George Person. What's up, George? Or Pearson, right? Pearson? Pearson? What's up, George? Fear the Deer is talking about Ryoko Zakarski is young. Probably not an NBA player. He'll be given a chance at some point, but probably not an NBA player, big dog. Ball has it up top, being guarded by Dosunmu. Over to Grant Williams, hands it off to Miller. Miller on the left wing, gets it over to Bridges. Bridges, jab step, coming to his right, being guarded by Reed. Driving it down in the lane, flips it up with the right hand. Got it to go over Naj Reed for Miles Bridges. And he's a really nice release valve for... Randall did knock down the other free throw, by the way. He's a really nice release valve for this Charlotte Hornets team, where at times he can just put himself in the post and throw up a shot, and it's a decent shot most of the time. Randall dancing off the handoff, knocks down the little step back, mid-range jumper over Miles Bridges there. Got him a bit turned around. Randall looking confident and spry in that. Too fancy of dribbling sequence there for Kobe White as he turns it over. Trying to go behind the back. Conley sprays it out to Dosunmu. Dosunmu driving it down. Euro steps, flips it up with the right hand. Can't get it to go down. Naj Reed, the offensive rebound, has it in the paint. Tied up, pulls it back out after escaping. And a timeout for the Timberwolves. Nice rebound for Naj Reed in the paint. And again, he's yet to score, right? Naj Reed, 0 points, over 6 from the field, but 6 rebounds for Naj Reed. Doing a really good job sneaking down there in the paint and snagging some really strong rebounds. Travis, what's up, Travis? In Jamaica, Portland, Caribbean countries, and Planet and California, Pins country. Shout out my guy Travis in the chat. Mike, what's up, Mike? Michigan is a good team, but UConn is a tough out. So is Michigan, brother. So is Michigan, who's a bigger and older team than UConn. But UConn does have the Hurley advantage, who is like quickly approaching one of the better college coaches in the league right now in college basketball. Ivan Cadornia? What's up, Ivan? Watching from PH, Philippines? Is that PH? What's PH? What's up, Ivan? Who said, huh, in the chat? Got some weird chats here today between both of these games. Fear the Deer said, Bronny's getting minutes now. I mean, Luka's out. Marcus Smart is out. Austin Reeves now out. Somebody got to play. Ivan, shout out Ivan from the Philippines, brother. Cora said, Duke fan, but I got money on the Natty, so go Big Blue. Duke, brother? Duke's been out for a minute, my guy. Duke's been out for a minute. Eliminated by UConn. They get it into Dosunmu. Dosunmu crosses over to his right. 2:20 to go. Over to Randall. Catches, jab step, down the lane, leans in, kicks it out to Dosunmu at the last second. Pump fakes, taking the baseline. Tries to go to the reverse layup. Gets blocked by Grant Williams. Recovers it. Tries to put it up again. Gets blocked by Bridges as he tried to frantically throw it up with the shot clock winding down. And it gets blocked again. And it ends up being a shot clock violation. Ball back to the Hornets here. And LaMelo Ball will bring it down. And Ball has it up top, looking for a play call from his coach. They hand it off to Bridges, back to Ball. Ball tries to get it back to Bridges, and it almost ends up being a turnover. Bridges does a good job chasing it down and recovering it. He's dancing with it, Randall up top, crossing over to his left, crossing back over to his right, down the lane, flips it up with the right hand, and he gets it to go down. Nice drive and finish from Miles Bridges there. Well contested from Randall, but Bridges able to to beat the good defense anyway with better offense. Naj Reid in the high post, jab step coming to his left, stop, turn, half spin, lefty layup, and the first made basket for Naj Reid finally goes down as the Timberwolves retake the 2-point lead here. Back and forth these two teams go. Miles Bridges has it up top, being guarded by Randall. Bridges up top the ball. Ball being guarded by Dosunmu. Coming to his left, pulls it back out. Coming to his right, a familiar screen. Highland switches onto him. Ball is going to look to dance to take advantage of the mismatch. Crosses over to his right, behind the back, step back. Now crossing back over to his right, down the lane. Deceleration step floater, off glass, got it to go for LaMelo Ball. And Naj Reid looking a little frustrated down there in the paint, trying to battle down low with the big men. And this might get feisty. This might get a little more physical than it already is. Highland leaves in and draws the foul. LaMelo Ball is going to go to the foul line for 2. And this is getting physical. This has a little bit of a playoff atmosphere to it right now. And Grant Williams going to his teammates, his younger teammates, trying to give them a little direction here as the vet on the team. Elliott with the bellet. Elliott. Miles Bridges clutch. He's been really solid for them today. 12 points, 5 for 6 from the field. Just taking advantage of the matchups that get switched onto him off of all of the action that Charles Lee has this team running. Charles Lee's already proven to be such an excellent young coach right now, man. Charlotte, they got it. They got their young coach of the future, man. He looks great. Highland knocks down the first free throw. He's got another one coming. Highland knocks down both, and it is back to a 2-point game. Again, these teams back and forth, not really getting stops on each other, just straight scores. LaMelo Ball has it up top, being guarded by Dosunmu. Over to Knipple. Knipple on the left wing, coming to his right. Gets caught in the air off a double team, gets it over to Bridges. Bridges attacking, no look pass. Miller ran off the line by Anderson in the paint, leaves it off for Grant Williams in the paint. Bully balls his way down low. They swing it back around. Miller, a right wing 3, misses it. Battle for the loose ball rebound. Anderson knocks it out of the air, but Randall tried to save it under his own basket. Miller right there and sneaks it back inside for the easy layup for, I believe that was Grant Williams or Knipple. That was to Knipple. And now Randall pushing it the other way. He's got Grant Williams on him. Tied at 55 yet again. Grant Williams flops looking for the foul, doesn't get it. Randall misses the first layup, grabs his own offensive rebound, and lays it up and in the second time. I love not rewarding Grant Williams for that flop right there. Here comes Brandon Miller bringing it down the other way. He has it up top, being guarded by Dosunmu. Switching the matchup a little bit. Oh, no, he's being guarded by Highland, excuse me. Miller's going to wind down the time as much as he can. 5 seconds to go. Miller coming to his left off the ball screen, and they call a moving screen on LaMelo Ball. 4.5 to go, and the Timberwolves get the ball back. Fear the Deer said, I think if the Wolves want to do win, need donate to hit threes. Sure, brother. Joseph said, Miles Bridges is a hooper. This is how an NBA game should be. This is how an NBA game should be for sure. For sure. It was a fun one. Mike said, Charlotte is also going to be a tough out. Yeah, they're going to be an extremely tough out. They hand it off to Highland. He puts it up. Well contested. Got it to go down. Bones Highland is getting it going here tonight. Off that made 3. Bones Highland up to 15 points. He's hooping tonight. It's a Bones Highland extravaganza here tonight. East Beige Bird said, Travis, I think your computer is glitching. If it happens again, just hit the space bar. I don't know what Travis had going on over there, but shout out Travis from Travis up top, man. Wherever you're from. I don't know where you're from. You named like 50 different places. Mindset John. What's up, Mindset John? Good basketball game so far. Hornets are a good young team capable of upsetting anyone when you least expect it. Yep. 5-point lead off that Highland made 3 right there. Let's break down. Let's go around the league. Let's break down some box scores. We got a good one going on here tonight. Cavs are up by 6 on the Pacers here. Come on, Indiana. Pull this one off, brothers. Pull this one off. Get another victory. I need another victory for the Indiana Pacers here. Slauson, Potter, Ethan Thompson, Kobe Brown, and Quentin Jackson. Obi Toppin off the bench with 21. Not playing anybody. I can't rely on anybody to pull this one off in clutch time here against the Cavs. That sucks. No Siakam, no Nemhard, no Neesmith. No anybody. No anybody for the Pacers. Slauson, Potter, Ethan Thompson, Kobe Brown, and Quentin Jackson, the starters. Obi Toppin coming off the bench. They couldn't even start Obi Toppin, man. Start Obi, man. Start Obi. Talon Peter. Come on, Talon Peter. Rookie Talon Peter. I like them. I like them in preseason. Shout out to any OGs in the chat who are here for the preseason run. Oh, of course, we are at the halftime rundown. Of course, as always, our second one of the night. Shout out our guys at Get Off My Lawn Records. Go ahead to getoffmylawnrecords.com and give their band, the Jazz Destroyers, a bit of a listen. But also, if you are musically inclined and are looking for some sort of representation or some sort of guidance even in your music making journey and process, go to getoffmylawnrecords.com. Reach out to our guys over there. Can they definitely help you out, or at the worst, point you in the right direction to get some help as well. You could also subscribe to the YouTube channels, Get Off My Lawn Records, as well as the Jazz Destroyers, just to show them support for showing us here on the Sheffy channel some support. They were also kind enough to give us a discount code. Use promo code Sheffy at bandcamp.com to get 20% off site-wide. So shout out our guys over at Get Off My Lawn Records, man. Shout them out. Shout them out. Give them a listen. Give them a chance. Fear the Deer said, who is guarding Nas? Everybody's guarding Nas. Everybody's guarding everybody. There's constant switching. It's positionless basketball, especially a player like Naj Reid. It's always hard to pin down who exactly is guarding Naj Reid. But oftentimes it's a combination of Miles Bridges, of Kalkbrenner, of Diabate, or of Bridges, Grant Williams. JP said, Indiana better have a good draft pick in order to save that team. The GMs are just cheap. Indiana was just in the finals last year, brother. The reason are not really competing this year is a combination of getting off to a poor start with all the injuries, and they figured, all right, I guess we're tanking. But also losing their best player in the finals last year in Tyrese Halliburton. So the last thing I want for Indiana is to end up with a top 4 pick and end up with the top pick in this draft. I need them to fall down to the 5th pick so that that pick will transfer over to the LA Clippers, and this tanking season will have ended with Ivica Zubac. That's what I need. That's what I need. But it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. There's still 5:20 left to go, and it's a 6-point game. Maybe they could shock the Cleveland Cavaliers here. Oh, I wanted to see who's playing for the Cavs. Everybody? Thomas Bryant, James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, Max Strus, Keon Ellis. All right, so no bigs. No Mobley. No Jared Allen. All right. Donovan Mitchell's got 33, though. And James Harden's got 26. So, don't love that. Don't love that. They really don't have anybody to guard those two guys. But outside of that, I mean, nobody else is really hooping all that much. But we'll keep an eye on that one. We should see the end of that one, obviously, during our coverage here today. Let's continue to go around the league real quick. So we got that game going on. Oh, it's a 4-point game now. We got that game going on. Obviously, we're covering the Hornets taking on the Timberwolves here. The Pelicans up by 8 on the Magic as they continue to struggle, even though Franz Wagner is back, right? Playing consistently every game now. Yeah, Franz is back. 4 points, 1 for 3 from the field, 4 boards, 2 assists. Paolo with 11, 7, and 1. Desmond Bane with 10. Man, this team feels like they are quitting. JP said, Indiana's never been the same since Donovan Mitchell. I don't know what that means, JP. They absolutely pantsed the Cleveland Cavaliers last year in the playoffs in the second round. And the Jazz Thunder game has been over since the first quarter, where it was 40-25. Second quarter, slightly better, but still 35-29. The Thunder won it. They're up by 19 points. 19 points? 21 points. I can't do math. They're up by 21 points. Lakers and Mavs have tipped off. Lakers down by 18 to the Dallas Mavericks. Early here in the second quarter, they get up 41 first quarter points to the LA Lakers. Just to check that out real quick. What is Cooper Flagg doing in comparison to Knipple having a bit of a rough night here tonight? LeBron with 6, 1-1 with 4 turnovers. He's looking around and he's like, really? Cooper Flagg, 19.7 for 11 from the field. Almost a perfect game. He's hit his 1 3-point attempt, 4 for 4 from the foul line, 4 boards, 3 assists, 2 steals as the number 1 guy on this team. My goodness. Yeah, I might have to lean Cooper Flagg for Rookie of the Year now. Still, again, I should say. Have to lean Cooper Flagg for Rookie of the Year. They got Klay Thompson and Chris Middleton come off the bench, by the way. A good team should swoop in there and see if they can steal Chris Middleton or Klay Thompson at some point. John Poulikitis has gotten 1 minute tonight. Shout out John Pulakita's getting an opportunity. D-Raz, what's up, D-Raz? All right, let's go over our box score here tonight. Because no other game is tipped off yet. We have 2 games remaining here in the late night tip-off. Clippers, Kings, and Rockets, Warriors. So let's go ahead. Let's go to the team stats and see how these 2 teams have fared before we jump through box scores. Overall, the Charlotte Hornets are slightly winning the possession battle here, 48-45. But the Timberwolves are winning the overall field goals made battle, 21-20. So it's a very close game. Obviously, it's only a 5-point game, 60-55. Ivan said day one is supporting. Appreciate you, Ivan. Appreciate you. Sui Leaks said Melo Ball on a minutes restriction. Is he really? I did not know. Overall, the Minnesota Timberwolves hit 5 threes in the first quarter, hit 5 more threes in the second quarter. For a total of 10 made threes tonight. 10 for 21 from three-point range is tough for the Charlotte Hornets to overcome if they continue to shoot at this level. They're on pace for 20 made threes tonight, obviously. Quick math. 7 made threes for the Charlotte Hornets. Usually they're winning the three-point shooting variance battle because of the perimeter players that they have available to them between Ball, Miller, and Knipple. But Knipple not too impactful so far here tonight, missing a lot of his open shots. He's made 1 3-point shot so far here tonight. The free throw battle, 8-10, so about even. Rebounds, knotted up at 24, exactly even. Offensive rebounds, 8-7, about even. Assists, 12-14. Minnesota moving the ball around just slightly better with the passing game. Total turnovers, 7-9, about even. Minnesota with 2 more turnovers. Fast break points, 2-5, about even. Points in the paint, 24-18. Charlotte actually more points in the paint so far than the Minnesota Timberwolves. This is something we talked about earlier in the pregame and as the game has gone on about how it's going to be interesting to see the front court battle with Diabate and Kalkbrenner taking on Gobert, Naj Reid, and Randall, who should be able to dominate most front court matchups, but especially here tonight with a smaller front court matchup with the Charlotte Hornets here today. Largest lead for the Hornets was 8. Largest lead for the Timberwolves has been 5. This halftime lead. And percentage led, Charlotte Hornets led for 51% of the game so far here tonight. 27% for the Minnesota Timberwolves. The rest of the time it's been tied, so it's been a very close back and forth game with the Charlotte Hornets slightly ahead with the possession battle win. But for 50% of the game, it's been tied or the Timberwolves have led. So for the most part, pretty even all around. Neither team with too much of an advantage. Nothing that we can fully extrapolate here to pick out a victor. If anything, 51% of the time that the Hornets have led the game tonight is usually a decent indicator in terms of one team playing from behind majority of the time. So it's a decent indicator at times of seeing who will win. But when the game is this close and all the other stats are pretty close, even the three-point shooting, like as well as Minnesota has shot it, Charlotte not too far behind at 7 for 23. So shooting variance-wise, if Charlotte shoots it slightly better in the second half, as the numbers say they should, and the Minnesota Timberwolves shoot it slightly worse in the second half, as the numbers say they should, Charlotte Hornets should obviously be able to pull this victory off today, right? But that's not always how it plays out. That's how the numbers and the stat sheet and the spreadsheet say it should play out, but we'll see how it plays out on the actual court. Why is this so loud? Shut up. My goodness. Mike, happy Easter and Resurrection Day to all those who celebrate. Appreciate you, brother. Let's look at the box scores. We go to the Charlotte Hornets. We'll start there since they are the road team. LaMelo Ball feels like he's been the leader in the clubhouse. He is indeed. 17 points for him. 6 of 11 from the field. 3 of 7 from three-point range. 2 boards, 4 assists. He does have the 3 turnovers, slightly higher than you want to see. Brandon Miller struggling overall from three-point range, 1 for 6. Same with Knipple, 1 for 3. That's a combined 2 for 9 from three-point range from your 2 other best players. And that's just not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it at all. Sons Jensen, I think people ate too much today. I definitely didn't. Maybe I did. I had a pretty big breakfast. Ate some dinner not too long ago after our first game. So, I ate more than I usually do, for sure. Ken Robinson, what's up, Ken? Sean said, I don't think Knipple will shoot 30% from the field the rest of the game. Yeah, I don't think so either. Him and Brandon Miller, I don't think will shoot 30% from the field for the rest of the game. So it seems like shooting variance should be on the sides of the Hornets, but sometimes you just have a bad shooting night. And sometimes the other team has a good shooting night. And if that is the case here today, then the Minnesota Timberwolves will be able to edge out the Charlotte Hornets here tonight. But I don't necessarily think it will be the case. So we'll see. JDM, what's up, JDM? Think Musa is getting 2 a block or 2? 1? Sure, brother. Sure, it's possible. Off the bench and not getting a ton of production. Kobe White's the only guy to put the ball in the basket. Grant Williams with 2 points off 2 free throws, but Kobe White 2 for 5 from the floor. The only person to make a shot off the bench here tonight. And they're really kind of struggling overall with creation. Knipple struggling to find open looks. Brandon Miller's had a couple of open looks and he's just missed them, but also struggling inside the arc to knock down contested shots. LaMelo Ball doing a lot of heavy lifting and on-ball creation here. I would be interested in seeing a Kobe White, LaMelo Ball lineup here today with the amount of struggle that the Charlotte Hornets have encountered trying to get the ball into the paint consistently with space and speed. We scroll down to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Julius Randle leading the way with 14 points. Definitely hasn't felt that way. I'm actually surprised to see him up to 14 here. I guess he has gotten himself to the foul line. He's 5 for 6 from the free throw line. 4 boards, 2 assists. Does have the 3 turnovers. A little higher than you want it to be for the first half there. Rudy Gobert, 8 points, 6 boards, 2 assists. I like to see that for Rudy Gobert. I think he's having a perfectly solid game. Mike Conley, 9 points. He's knocked down 3 threes. That's absolutely fantastic. That's icing on the cake. You don't necessarily expect Mike Conley to provide a ton for you, but he's definitely filling in a role here while the other guys are remaining injured. Dante DiVincenzo, 6 points for him. He knocked down the first 2 shots of the game for the Minnesota Timberwolves, both of them being threes. He started the game 2 for 2 from three-point range and then went ice cold after that. 2 for 7 from the field, 2 for 6 from three-point range. They're going to need something out of Dante, man. And the last 2 Minnesota games I've seen from Dante DiVincenzo have been really, really lackluster and disappointing when I compare him to his New York Knicks season. Ayo Dosunmu, 4 points, 3 boards, and assist. He's played some really solid defense. They obviously need him. Dante's also played some solid defense. Let me give credit to Dante DiVincenzo on that end of the court at least. But Ayo Dosunmu and Dante DiVincenzo combining to really put a ton of perimeter pressure on the ball handlers and perimeter players of the Charlotte Hornets, and absolutely what you need to do against this Hornets team in order to pull off this victory. Kyle Anderson continues to be really impressive and important off the bench here for this team to continue to win basketball games. 2 points, 1 for 2 from the field, 1 rebound, 2 assists, but just a really smart overall basketball player who is always consistently in the right spot at the right time. Shout out Kyle Anderson. I wish he was a New York Knick, but that's just me. That's just me. Naj Reid, really, for all the talk of like, oh yeah, Brandon Miller and Knipple, both 3 for 10 from the field, combined 6 for 20. That'll change in the second half. I don't think Naj Reid is going to be 1 for 7 from the field in the second half here. Again, I think that might be the worst half of basketball he plays here tonight. He probably will play much better in the second half here. So that is something that the Timberwolves could rely on, whereas the Hornets are relying on Knipple and Brandon Miller to play better. The Minnesota Timberwolves are relying on more impact from either Dante or Dosunmu, if not both, but also specifically Naj Reid off the bench. Bones Highland saved the day, though, with 15 points off the bench, 4 for 6 from three-point range. He's really got the touch. 2 boards, 4 assists, 2 steals, and a block for Bones Highland, just impacting the game all over the court, filling the stat sheet all across the board here tonight. My goodness. PKOTV, what's up, PK? How's it going, PK? How's your day going, brother? Ozar said, go Timberwolves. Mike, got to play defense also. I think both sides have been solid defensively. Could be better, of course, but I think both sides have been pretty solid defensively. All right, here we go. Getting ready for the second half. Here we go. Throw up 12 more minutes. Last 9 games, number 1 defensive rating goes to the Minnesota Timberwolves here. Did not know that. Really locking in on that side of the ball, stifling the Charlotte Hornets here tonight. Ayo Dosunmu down the lane draws the foul. I believe it's going to be on Knipple there. It's going to be 2 free throws for Ayo Dosunmu. We just talked about Dosunmu playing a better offensive second half here than he did in the first half. He opens it up the right way, getting himself to the foul line and 2 free points. Strange said, how good is the Timberwolves bench depth? Haven't really kept up with this team this season, but they're doing well without Ant. Yeah, no Anthony Edwards, no Jaden McDaniels. So the guys going to the bench once those guys return is going to be Mike Conley and Dosunmu. Although I might start Dosunmu and bring DiVincenzo off the bench or something. But yeah, it'll probably be Mike Conley and Dosunmu going to the bench for Anthony Edwards and Jaden McDaniels. And that just strengthens the bench that much more. So you got Dosunmu, you got Reid, you got Highland coming off the bench, and then you got the veteran presence of Mike Conley. 4 solid guys you can rely on. And then you could even give Kyle Anderson some spot minutes here and there, or have Kyle Anderson give you minutes over Mike Conley. But yeah, they've got some pieces. They got some pieces for sure. Sparks said points are off. Oh, points are off. I forgot to give them that 3, and now Highland knocked down the 2 free throws there. Thank you, Spark. Miles Bridges has it on the right wing. Off the 2 made free throws. Conley switched on to him. They show double team. He tries to throw up a floater. Gets blocked by Gobert. Battle for the loose ball rebound. Diabate saves it. Over to the open LaMelo Ball, who knocks down the left corner 3 just as the shot clock buzzer expires. And it's back to a 4-point game. It was quickly built up to a 7-point lead for the Minnesota Timberwolves there. They get it over to Dosunmu. Swings through to his left. Blowing past the defense to the rim. Ball knocked out of bounds by Knipple as he runs up behind Dosunmu and kicks the ball out of bounds. Daniel Dash said Joe Ingles to Adelaide 36ers rumored. Could happen. Might possibly be his last season in the NBA. He's obviously not a role player anymore, as he's not getting minutes at all. And, to be expected. He's older in his career. Was never really a very athletic guy to stick around in the league that much longer. Randall misses the left wing 3. Ball has it up top, crossing over to his right. Behind the back again, has it on the right wing. Coming to his left off a double screen. Randall switches onto Ball, pulls it out, looking for an option. Lobs it over the top. Miles Bridges guides it through the basket as he had Mike Conley switched onto him, just cutting to the rim. Mike Conley trying to front them. Had no chance of getting to that one with a nice pass from LaMelo Ball. Pinpoint pass. Back to a 2-point game. Randall drop step off of Knipple, knocks it down off glass for Julius Randle. And the Timberwolves trying to keep the Charlotte Hornets an arm distance away. It's flipped from the first half. Charlotte Hornets led for 50% of the first half there. Not by much, but had the lead for 50% of that first half. And now Minnesota has led for majority of this second half, obviously early here. LaMelo Ball throws up a floater looking for a foul call. There was a ton of contact. Loose ball ends up in Diabate's hands and he flips it up. And a ton of contact for LaMelo Ball dribbling towards the basket. Surprised there was a no call there in Dosunmu. He got away with a lot. But this is starting to ramp up towards playoff basketball. That is what you can expect when you play playoff basketball. This is a good test for the Charlotte Hornets here tonight, just to see the kind of intensity and refereeing that you'll see come playoff time. And I think they call a foul on DiVincenzo trying to move off ball. Ball will go back to the Charlotte Hornets either way. It ends up as a turnover. LaMelo Ball will bring it down, being guarded by DiVincenzo. Ball has it up top. Gets it over to Knipple. Knipple, being guarded by Conley, swings through to his right. Trying to drive it down through him. Fall away jumper, off glass, can't get it to go. Rebound by Gobert. Over to DiVincenzo, over to Conley. Conley bringing it down, gets it over to Randall. Randall, high post, left wing. Being guarded by Bridges. Faces up, jab step. Now puts him back in the post, backing him down. Drop step, floater off glass, or a little push shot off glass. Got it to go. For Julius Randle yet again, who's now taking advantage of his size and strength and nice soft touch around the basket to finish against a couple of nice matchups that he's been able to generate. Once over Knipple, now over Bridges. LaMelo Ball off the screen, one-legged 3. Got it to go for LaMelo Ball yet again. He's keeping his team into it here tonight. 66-65 with 9 minutes to go. Randle on the left wing hands it off to Conley. Conley dancing with it against Knipple. Down the lane, stops, turns, kicks it out. DiVincenzo, a no hesitation right wing 3, throws up an air ball. And the ball will go back to the Charlotte Hornets. DiVincenzo's really struggled after knocking down those first 2 threes. Daniel Dash said he played 4 times in the Olympics, so there's interest around the NBL. Utah three-pointers made leader. What's the score Hornets can pass the Raptors due to the loss to the Celtics? Yeah, we'll check the standings in a second. But yeah, we're familiar with Joe Ingles, of course. Brandon Miller misses the pull-up 3, but the rebound careens right back to him. They swing it around. Knipple an open 3 on the relocation. Can't get it to go. Gobert finally snags the defensive rebound. Here comes Dosunmu. Ball knocked out of his hands. Another turnover for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Ball gets it over to Knipple, coming to his left along the baseline. Keeps the Nash dribble alive. Keeps it out to Miles Bridges, a right wing 3 for him, and he got it to go down. Miles Bridges refuses to miss tonight. He's 6 for 8 from the field. And the Charlotte Hornets retake a 2-point lead. They don't stop. They do not stop. Randall has it up top, being guarded by Bridges. Gets it over to DiVincenzo. DiVincenzo tries to get it back to Randall and just turns it over. And DiVincenzo continues to be a bit of a disaster tonight. My goodness. LaMelo Ball coming to his right on the right wing. Kicks it up top to Bridges. Swings through to his left, off the Diabate screen. He's open off the dribble three. Got it to go down. And if Miles Bridges is going to knock down off the dribble threes, you're in for a long night. And Minnesota calls a timeout, looking for some answers here. 7:49 to go here in this third quarter. $7:49 exactly. We'll stop our timer at exact time here. Boom. Okay, let's look at the standings. So with Toronto, should be reflected in standings now. Toronto losing, yeah, they dropped down to 43 and 35, and they fall to the 7th seed. Philadelphia 76ers move up to the 6th seed. Both of these teams tied, but the 76ers own the tiebreaker, so they're sitting with the 6th seed right now. Technically would be tied up with the Knicks for a playoff matchup. That sucks. The Charlotte Hornets sitting at 42 and 36. Either way, they're going to have to continue to win and hope that one of these teams loses so that they can jump up into the possible run for the top 6 here. Atlanta has a game against the New York Knicks, so the New York Knicks could technically control their destiny here in terms of who they might end up playing as the 6th seed as long as they continue to win basketball games. They play the Hawks and the Raptors towards the end of the season here. So technically, if the Knicks wanted to pull some shenanigans, they'd go all out and look to beat the Atlanta Hawks, and then maybe sit a couple of guys and look to tank that Raptors game in order to try and mess around with the standings here. But obviously, you just look to win as many games as possible and let the cards lie where they may. Nader Dash, Charlotte must be a half game behind. They are one back in the loss column. They are one game behind, brother. One back in the loss column. I never look at this. I never look at this. This does not matter. This is a bunch of, fake numbers that they have to attach to games behind. It doesn't matter because every team, for the most part, has played a different number of games, although as we wind down the regular season here, it obviously starts to catch up. But you just have to look at the loss column. How far back are you in the loss column? The Charlotte Hornets are one loss away from being tied with the Raptors and 76ers at 36 losses. So they need the Raptors or the 76ers to lose in order to move up. It does not matter how many games the Charlotte Hornets win. If the Raptors and the 76ers also run the gambit for the rest of the regular season, there's no way the Hornets can move up. So they don't control their own destiny. They just have to continue to win basketball games and hope that one of these teams starts losing a couple here. Toronto lost today, so that's a step in the right direction for the Hornets. Brene Johnson, what's up, Brene? I wanted to know if Dosunmu is still on the court. Tell you right now, brother. Raul, what's up, Raul? Do you think that Rudy will get over 10.5 points? He could, brother. He could. Here we go. We're checking back in after the timeout. Dosunmu remains on the court here. Dosunmu is on the court, brother. Daniel Dash said it's close. That's good. I saw a pic of Brian Gorgon with the 7 trophies last night. The trophy broke during the presentation. Randall gets it over to Conley, coming to his left, off the dribble screen, off the Gobert screen. Off the dribble 3, off the Gobert screen. Can't get it to go. Knipple with the rebound, pushing it the other way. DiVincenzo a little late to catch up with Knipple. He gets into the paint, kicks it out the ball, back to Knipple. Knipple swings through to his left, driving it down, leans in, fall away mid-range shot. Can't get it to go. Rebound to Diabate. Diabate kicks it out to Knipple, over to Miller, over to Bridges. Bridges hands it off the ball. Ball being guarded by Conley, and they call a foul on Mike Conley there. Daniel Dash said, to push the Raptors up to 6, wow, and they need to keep winning. 76ers lost to the Pistons yesterday. Yes, indeed they did. Yes, indeed they did. So Bones Highland is going to sub back in here for Dante DiVincenzo, who's been a bit of a disaster, just a little bit. Offensively here for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Brandon Miller off the screen, mid-range flip jumper over Gobert, can't get it to go. Dosunmu the rebound, here comes Randall. Randall bringing it down the other way. Just under 7 minutes to go now. Randall leans in, puts it above glass, can't get it to go. Own offensive rebound, pump fake, steps through, foul. He's going to go to the foul on 4-2 free throws. Randall just being a bully in the paint. And this is what I mean when I want to see big men dominate the Hornets on the interior. Obviously easier said than done. The Hornets they also know their weakness, so they do a good job of trying to hide their weakness on the interior. And Diabate is good, and Bridges is strong, and uses his size and strength well. But a guy like Randall forcing his way into the paint there, a couple of pump fakes, a couple of smart pivots, able to draw contact and draw the fouls, find himself at the foul line, just being a bully down there in the paint. That's what you kind of need to do. Randall knocks down the first one. He's got another one coming. Josh Ruiz. What's up, Josh? More rebounds for Diabate. Diabate is sitting with 7 rebounds so far tonight. How many more do you need, brother? Still got a lot of game left. Juice. What's up, Juice? Randall needs help? Yeah. Yeah. Very well put. Been Randall and Highland and not much from anybody else. For sure. Just, some nice contributions here and there. Angela Harding said, Hornets doing good. They are doing very well here tonight. Randall knocks down both free throws. Back to a 3-point game it goes. Kalkbrenner is now in the game. And the Hornets will bring it down as we are quickly approaching the halfway point of this third quarter. Kobe White has it up top, being guarded by Highland. They get it over to LaMelo Ball. Jab step, coming to his left, crossing over to his right, back to his left, stops, turns, spins in the paint, kicks it out to nobody. And it is a backcourt violation. LaMelo Ball just kind of throwing it up in the air for grabs, but nobody was there to grab it. And it ends up being a turnover. Desunmu has it up top, being guarded by Ball. 6:30 to go. Gets it over to Anderson. Kyle Anderson being guarded by LaMelo Ball, coming to his left. Leaves it off for Gobert, who Euro steps and throws down a two-handed hammer off the Euro step over Kalkbrenner. Rudy, I didn't know you were aggressive like that, big dog. My goodness. Ball has it up top, spinning off of Desunmu, and they call a foul on Desunmu there. Daniel Dash said Hornets versus Celtics would be a great first round. Where's Ant-Man? Ant-Man is out with, a hamstring injury? Calf injury, I think. I can tell you right now. Edwards, it is a knee injury. All right, it's a knee injury. Thought it was a muscle injury, but it's a knee injury they ruled him out with. He's been in and out of the rotation, in and out of the lineup, questionable for a couple of games. I think they're just going to sit him out until he's fully healthy for the playoff run. That's what's more important. They pretty much got that 6th seed locked in. Outside of them losing every single game and the Suns winning every single game, they're going to be the 6th seed. Highland has it on the left wing off the missed jumper from Miller, who continues to be ice cold here tonight. Randall up top being guarded by LaMelo Ball. Swings through to his left, behind the back, crossing over. Head of steam, down the lane, throws it out of bounds for Julius Randle. Doing it a little too much on that possession. A little too out of control. A little too quick. Corey Stanley. What's up, Corey? Let's go, Hornets. Nice little run to get it back close. Got to get this win tonight for sure. Hornets still battling for something. Still trying to battle their way out of this play-in right now. Every win matters in this fight. Bridges lobs it over the top of the ball. Ball down the lane, throws up the floater. Got it to go. LaMelo Ball, sensing the moment. He's been absolutely fantastic tonight for the Charlotte Hornets. He needs Miller or Knipple to get it going at some point. Maybe even a Kobe White performance could put them over the edge here tonight against the Timberwolves. And an off-ball foul on the Charlotte Hornets, holding on to Bones Highland off ball there. And it'll be side out of bounds for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Jax W, what's up, Jax? Go Hornets. Another Hornets fan in the chat. What's up, Jax? Hornets have been hooping tonight, but not getting the performances they need out of Brandon Miller and Con Knipple overall. Even a Kobe White, not giving them what they need here tonight. Julius Randle subs out. Naj Reid subs in. He had a pretty miserable first half. See what he's got in the second half here. Naj Reid has it along the baseline, being guarded by Kalkbrenner, leans in, fall away, little push shot in the paint, comes up short yet again. Almost everything short here tonight for Naj Reid. Here comes Miles Bridges off the Hornets rebound. Bridges bringing it down against Reid. Stops, turns, spins, tries to kick it out. Loose ball. Oh! And Zion James dives right at the knees of Highland. That is a reckless play from Zion James. Highland seems all right. He comes up limping and obviously a little hampered, but that is a dangerous play from Zion James there. Obviously not purposeful. He's not trying to hurt anybody. He's just hustling, going for the ball. It's just an unfortunate situation. But that is effectively how Jaden Ivey's career ended. Cole Anthony dove for a loose ball right into the legs of Jaden Ivey and broke his leg and effectively ended his career, unfortunately. Highland has it up top. He seems fine. Over to Gobert, back to Highland off the handoff, snaking it down in the lane, back to his right hand, kicks it out to Anderson. Anderson stops, turns, spins, puts up the little floater, way off, throws up a brick, and now here come the Hornets off the rebound, pushing it the other way. White up top, gets it over to Bridges. Bridges being guarded by Anderson. Bridges up top, swings through to his left. Desunmu switched onto him. Bridges behind his back, coming to his right now. Bridges trying Trying to create a little bit of space here to get a running start to the rim. Tries to kick it out. Anderson with the steal. Great defense from Dosunmu. Quick outlet to Highland. Highland leaves it off. Naj Reid, two-handed slam. Give Naj Reid a nice, easy one. He has struggled all night offensively. And a timeout for the Charlotte Hornets with 4:19 to go here in the third quarter. Give him a nice, easy one. Nice pass from Bones Highland out on the break there. Vamp Life. What's up, Vamp Life? Dosunmu selling my parlays. Dosunmu's played well tonight, though. They've needed him defensively, and he's shown up defensively in a big way. Daniel Dash said, I think he played the other night well. Rockets beat Warriors tonight, and they're 49 wins. Yeah, we go look at the Timberwolves, who I'm pretty sure is locked in at the 6th seed. Yeah, the only way, I mean, yeah, we could say, you know, they're going to battle for that 5 seed with the Rockets, but with the Lakers, I guess they're not locked in at the 3 seed either. Kind of want to play the Lakers with no Doncic and Reeves right now, right? Get an easy first-round matchup. But yeah, they're not really in trouble outside of them losing every single game for the rest of the season, and the Suns winning every single game for the rest of the season. The Minnesota Timberwolves will likely be the 6th seed, so they'll avoid the play-in. So at that point, just try to get your guys as healthy as possible going into the playoffs. Justin Jefferson, what's up, Justin? What happened to Anthony Edwards? He's out with a little knee injury. Come playoff time, he'll play. He'll be ready to go. But I think it's about, like, he's been in and out. He was in and out of the lineup for a while and was just kind of playing through it and struggling with it a little bit. And I think they were just like, all right, we're pretty good. We're not going to fall into the play-in. So just sit out, be healthy for the rest of the regular season here. They'll have a week off for the play-in tournament when the regular season ends to get to the playoffs. So overall, I think they just are erring on the side of precaution. Ray J, Hunnell, Littlejohn with the Ray J. Is LaMelo coming back in? LaMelo will come back in at some point, brother. Daniel Dash said, a good point that sure, Ivy Pistons should be ashamed given circumstances of the injury. True, yeah. Very unfortunate situation. I mean, look, the NBA is a business, though. And, you know, they were trying to give Ivy an opportunity to come back from the injury. He didn't really perform all that well this season. And they had an opportunity to trade him for a player that could help contribute this year for the playoff run in Herter. I'm sure they were also getting some of the senses of some of the off-court stuff that Ivy was starting to get into. And I think they got out ahead of it by trading him over to the Chicago Bulls. So they didn't have to deal with that whole situation. Jahir said, turn the game part back on. Brother, we're not back yet. Relax, big dog, relax. Ken Robinson said, I'll keep Edwards out till the playoffs. That's exactly what they're looking to do. Ivan said, is Anthony Edwards playing? Anthony Edwards is not playing, brother. I have not called his name out once tonight. Kalkbrenner has it up top. Gets it over to Kobe White. White being guarded by, is that Highland or Dosunmu? That's Dosunmu. Knocked the ball loose and then dove for it, but Dosunmu was out of bounds as he was touching the ball, so the ball's going to stay with the Charlotte Hornets. 5 on their shot clock, though. 4 minutes to go. Justin said, who do you want to win this game? I don't have a dog in this fight. I'm just looking for a good basketball game. Daniel Dash said, Denver doesn't want a Minnesota. Now they're a top side. Yeah. I don't think anybody really wants a healthy Minnesota team come playoff time. They're a dark horse contending team for sure. Kalkbrenner tries to hand it off to Kobe White. Kobe White gets blocked by Dosunmu, but a foul is called. And Dosunmu can't believe it. Can't believe it. Got the block on the Kobe White pull-up 3, and they called the foul on Dosunmu. And I think the assistant coaches are looking at it to see if it's a challengeable play, and you can see one of them shaking their heads. He's got his left arm on the hip of Kobe White. But Kobe White is off balance, leaning to one side. I don't know if I would have rewarded Kobe White with that foul call. It's a rough call to me. There is contact, obviously, that you could call, but I would not have called that a foul. Either way, 3 free throws for Kobe White. He knocks down the first one, knocks down the second one. He's got one more coming. Mr. Van, what's up, Mr. Van? Will Mike Conley drop 10? He could, brother, he could. Eduardo Andes, what's up, Eduardo? Hornets better win? They need to. They're more desperate for a win. He missed the third free throw. They were too busy showing a graphic. He missed the third free throw. They grab the offensive rebound, kick it back out to Kobe White, and he knocks down a three. So a 5-point play for Kobe White is what it turns into. Highland gets it over to Reed. Now over to Kyle Anderson in the post. Back out to Reed. The straightaway three for Naj Reed, trying to get 3 points right back. He can. Battle for the loose ball rebound. Kalkbrenner and Gobert fighting for it. And they call a foul on Kalkbrenner. Kung Fu fighting with Gobert there. Sui leaks. Melo coming back in. He will eventually come back in, brother. That's how basketball is played for sure. Ain't the Brazy. What's up, Brazy? Think Dosunmu is going to put up more than 18 this game? He could, brother. He could. Eduardo. What's up, Eduardo? Jirik. What's up, Jirik? You think Dosunmu is going to get 2 more rebounds? He could, brother. He could. Rudy Gobert misses the first free throw. He's got another one coming. The Timberwolves are in the bonus for the final 3.5 minutes of this quarter. Gobert misses the first one. He's got another one coming. Gobert misses 2. Battle for the loose ball rebound. Kalkbrenner able to save it with Naj Reed battling for it. Now here comes Kobe White bringing it down the other way. White gets it over to Grant Williams. Williams gets it over to Kalkbrenner. Kalkbrenner up top being guarded by Gobert. Bounce pass down low to Miller. Picked up by Dosunmu. Hop steps in the lane. Low fall away jumper in the paint. In and out. Can't get it to stay. Gobert the rebound. Quick outlet to Anderson. He's pushing the pace the other way. Slow-mo out on the run. Coming to his right at the Gobert screen as he slows it down a little bit. Kicks it out to Dosunmu. Coming to his left off the Gobert screen. Driving it down in the lane. Stops. Leans in. Puts up the little floater with the right hand over Kobe White. Can't get it to go. And a loose ball foul yet again on the Charlotte Hornets. It's going to send Rudy Gobert to the foul line again. Maja said, Io for 15. He could, brother, he could. No, they didn't call a foul on the loose ball rebound. Wow, it's a late foul call then. Dosunmu was at the foul line for 2 free throws. They called the foul on Kobe White. Didn't see too much of contact on that one. As Dosunmu knocks down the first one. He's got another one coming. Randall coming back in. Corey said, 5-point play is crazy. Such a good pickup for the Hornets. Made the Hornets contenders. I wouldn't go as far as to say it made them contenders, but yeah, man, it made them very scary. Very scary. Because they don't completely fall apart in the absence of LaMelo Ball anymore. Because they have another actual ball handler and point guard on the court when LaMelo goes to the bench. Dosunmu knocks down both free throws. Under 3 to go here in this third quarter. And Kobe White has it up top. Over to Kalkbrenner. Kalkbrenner hands it off to Miller. Miller on the left wing. Swings through to his right. Swings it out to Grant Williams. Catches. Pump fakes. Kyle Anderson went for the pump fake, and fouls Grant Williams. It's a foul on the floor, so it should still be a side out of bounds for the Charlotte Hornets here. Raiders had LaMelo coming back in. He's coming back in at some point, brother. Kobe White gets it up top to Kalkbrenner. Kalkbrenner hands it off to Miller. Miller, the straightaway 3, comes up short. Rebound by Randall. Randall pushing it the other way. And Miller continues to really struggle tonight. Randall over to Highland, deep left corner. Got it to go for Bones Highland. As deep in the corner as you could possibly be. Probably behind the backboard at that point. And Bones Highland knocked it down anyway. And his fantastic night continues. He's up to 18 points. 5 made threes here tonight. All of his made shots coming from three-point line. Kobe White coming to his left up a Kalkbrenner screen. Got to lane, down the lane, got down into the paint. Gets the lefty layup to go down past Julius Randle. Julius Randle, not much of a rim protector. Great finish in the lane for Kobe White. Nice attack as well off the screen. Highland gets it up top to Dosunmu. Driving to his right. Over to Highland. Right corner 3. Bones Highland can get that one to go. And now here comes Kobe White pushing it the other way. Full head of steam. Driving it down. Ball knocked out of his hands. And it gets kicked out of bounds by Kobe White. Great hands from Kyle Anderson there. My goodness. K. Darius Rogers. What's up, K. Darius? I need Khan to hit a 3. Brewing for you, brother. Highland bringing it down the other way. 80-77, under 2 to go. Highland has it up top being guarded by Miller. Crosses over to his right at the Randall screen. Hits Randall, cutting to the rim. All the way down into the paint. Gets the lefty layup to go past Grant Williams. Again, like Randall on the other end, Grant Williams also not much of a rim protector at all. So Randall, no fear at all in attacking Grant Williams down there in the paint. Kobe White on the left wing. Picks up his handle. Kicks it out to Miles Bridges up top. Swings through down to his left. Kicks out to Miller, being guarded by Highland. Swings through to his right. It's a 1-point game, 80-79. Kobe White up top. Step back straight away, 3 over Randall. Got it to go for Coby White, who's heating up here in the second half. They needed somebody outside of LaMelo to heat up, and coming into the game, Coby White picking up right where LaMelo left off. They lob it down low to Dosunmu, catches in the paint against White, spins, layup with the right hand, can't get it to go, battle for the loose ball, rebound, knocked out to Miles Bridges. The Hornets are off running. It's a 3-on-2 fast break over to Grant Williams. Left wing transition 3, got it to go for Grant Williams. 86-79, and just like that, the lead balloons back up to 7 with a minute to go here in this third quarter. Randall walking it down the other way. The Solo Lab. What's up, Solo? I appreciate how no nonsense you are while remaining diplomatic. It's truly refreshing. Appreciate you, Solo Lab. Appreciate you, brother. I just love watching basketball. I'm trying to get a good basketball game here today. I got no stake in the game. I got no skin in the game. I got no bias here in this one. Not in this one. The Minnesota Timberwolves turned it over, by the way, an offensive foul. Here comes Sion James pushing it the other way. He's being guarded by Highland. 43 seconds to go. James up top. Hornets taking away some time. They get it over to Coby White, who's been on fire here in this third quarter. White on the left wing. Gets it over to Miles Bridges in the post now, taking advantage of the Dosunmu matchup. Leans in, kicks it out. James, the deep straightaway 3. Banks it in. The bank is open. Sion James. The basketball gods answered the grenade prayer there. And Naj Reid bullying his way into the paint against Miller. Pump fake, sees a double team, flips it up, and it's a double dribble on Naj Reid. I was about to say, they allowed that one to go by, but they didn't. They peeped it. They saw it. G4, what's up, G4? Who you want to win? Who do you want in this one? It doesn't really matter to me. Neither team winning or losing affects our New York Knicks too much. Christopher Joson, what's up, Chris? LaMelo playing. LaMelo Ball is playing. Rosa, will Rudy get back in the game? He will indeed, brother. He will indeed. Drew said Ayo needs to sub out. Maybe. Needs a bit of a rest. But they also can't really afford to be on the court without him for too long. They need his defense out there. Knipple gets it over to Coby White. Coby White on the left wing. Coming to his right. Randall hedges out hard. White trying to drive it down against him. Pump fakes, puts it up at the buzzer. Can't get it to go. Great defense from Julius Randall, who looked like he took a little bit of a hard fall after jumping the contest, and he's still laying down on the ground. That's not a great sign for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Already down Anthony Edwards and Jaden McDaniels. Purcell Gaines. What's up, Purcell? Who thinks will win the NBA Finals? I don't know, brother. We'll talk about it when we get there. Zuyuki, what's up, Zuyuki? Let's go Hornets. Watching from the Philippines. Shout out Zuyuki from the Philippines. Corey Stanley said, thanks for doing this, bro. Sucks it's so hard to watch games these days. Yeah, man, it sucks. I talk about it all the time. I am subscribed to 5 different streaming services in order to actually watch NBA, all the NBA. To be able to watch all the NBA basketball games this season, you need 5 different subscription services, right? I have YouTube TV for the national games, for the ESPN and NBC games. I'm still technically subscribed to ESPN. I have the Prime Video for the Prime games. I have Peacock for the Peacock games. Alvaro, what's up, Alvaro? Appreciate the subscription, brother. Thank you for that. And then I live in the Northeast in the New York area, so in order to get access to the Knicks and Nets games, I need the local streaming services, which is the Gotham Sports app, and that's our 5th streaming service. It sucks. It sucks. Fishy Fambling, what's up, Fishy? I'm watching from Malaysia. Shout out Fishy from Malaysia. Appreciate you, brother. Josh Ruiz said, why is Brandon Miller in a coma? Brandon Miller, 3 for 14 from the field tonight. He's really struggled to knock down that perimeter shot. Although Coby White stepped up, man. They needed somebody to step up. Coby White entered and has really held his own here tonight. Bones Highland, 18. Randall, 22. They need somebody else to step up. They were looking for Dosunmu or DiVincenzo or Naj Reid to step up, and they did not. And that was ultimately the difference in that third quarter and why the Charlotte Hornets were able to jump up to a 10-point lead, because nobody stepped up to help Randall and Bones Highland tonight. They need another guy. And right now, it's not Dosunmu. It's not Anderson. It's not Reid. Gobert's got, 10 points? Which is nice, but Eduardo said, Dan, you play for a lot of subscriptions? No other way, brother. There's no other way. No other reliable way. If you want to watch it, and I cover these games, so I have to have access to these games, right? I can't just not cover a game because, man, I don't have access to the Peacock games. No, I got to go get Peacock so I can watch the game so we can cover them. Eduardo said, nah, they don't need anyone to step up. Not if you're a Hornets fan. You're hoping that it remains status quo so far. Emily Neal, what's up, Emily? LaMelo coming back. LaMelo will come back at some point. Probably will start the fourth quarter here. Cora said B-Millie has been kind of stinky tonight. He's been very stinky tonight. Not kind of. He's been very stinky tonight. Anime said, where is this game streaming? Well, I'm streaming it through League. I also have League Pass, by the way. So I don't know if I mentioned that. If it's not ESPN as the fifth one, it's League Pass. Knipple, right past Kyle Anderson out on the perimeter to start this fourth quarter for the scoop layup and score. Knipple is the other player who's really struggled, and now suddenly it's a 12-point lead for the Charlotte Hornets, 91-79. Dante DiVincenzo hit the first 2 threes of the game, mind you, and has gone scoreless ever since. He's really struggled tonight. Gobert, inside pass, goes up, smokes a layup. Rudy, what was that? What was that, Rudy? How do you airball a layup right in front of the rim? Dosunmu beats him down the court on the other end and gets a layup, and just like that, that's a 4-point turnaround. Instead of knocking it back to 10, it balloons up to 14 now, 93-79. They kick it to the corner to Naj Reid, who's the top of the backboard on a 3-point attempt. Naj Reid's been absolutely terrible. LaMelo Ball quickly pushing the other way, beats them down the court, lefty layup, got it to go for LaMelo Ball. And a timeout for the Minnesota Timberwolves. And I talked about in the pregame, when I talk about Naj Reid and I covered the Minnesota games, and I've said this every single game this year whenever we cover Minnesota games. Naj Reid is the barometer of the Minnesota Timberwolves. If Naj Reid struggles to score that night, the Minnesota Timberwolves really run out of offense very quickly. They don't have a ton of options or a ton of self-creators. Naj Reid is one of them. And when you're down your other 2 self-creators, right, between Anthony Edwards and Jaden McDaniels, you're left with Rudy Gobert. Not Rudy Gobert, my goodness, he's not a self-creator. You're left with Julius Randle and Naj Reid as kind of the only 2 guys who can generate a shot by themselves, for themselves, or for teammates. And if Naj Reid is going to be 2 for 11 from the field, you're looking at Julius Randle like, oh man, you're going to have that like a 35, 40-point night with 5, 6, 7 assists in order for this offense to be juiced. Or you're going to need a guy like DiVincenzo or Highland or Dosunmu to get hot from 3. And Highland has provided that, but not enough. Not enough. Naj Reid, 4.6 boards, 2 for 11 from the field is a rough night, man. Tyrone said, is DiVincenzo going to come back? DiVincenzo's in the game, brother. Emily said, do you think Io's getting 15? He could. Rotund Calzone. What's up, Rotund Calzone? I love the Mr. Miyagi look. Is it a Mr. Miyagi look, brother? I don't know if it is. It might just be a blue shirt. Sometimes a blue shirt's just a blue shirt. Let's get rid of this injury report here. Pagua? What's up, Jer? Worst team, the Timberwolves. They just are running out of offense. No Edwards, no McDaniels to begin with, and then Naj Reid is going to throw up a stinker. You're going to be really reliant on the other guys in order to pull something off here today. The Magic trail by 7 to the Pelicans going into the fourth quarter. Not great for the Magic as they continue to slide down the standings here. They could slide all the way down to the 10th seed. My goodness. My goodness. Elliot said Hornets getting 115 points, right? They could, Elliot. They could. Jazz getting absolutely demolished by the Thunder, to be expected. 43-point game. My goodness. Why do you do this, Oklahoma City? The Lakers trailing by 7 to the Dallas Mavericks. Knipple not having a great night tonight. In the battle for the Rookie of the Year trophy this season, Cooper Flagg putting up 26, 5, and 4 here tonight with 3 steals and a block. Only 1 turnover. Knipple not doing that here tonight. And the Clippers-Kings will be tipping off in about 10 minutes. And then later tonight, we have the late game of the Rockets taking on the Warriors. And that's a big deal because that is the return of Steph Curry. Obviously, the Warriors will be in the play-in. But getting Steph Curry back for the last 2 or 3 games of the season, 3 or 4 games of the season here, could go a long way. For them maybe actually making the playoffs and getting out of the play-in. But who knows. Here we go. We're back into it. Highland has it up top. Sidestep, deep straightaway 3. Comes up short, battle for the loose ball rebound. Jalen Clark is in the game. They just need somebody out there to hustle. and defend. Naj Reid on the right wing gets it over to DiVincenzo. I would argue they need somebody out there to give them buckets. DiVincenzo down the lane, leaves it off for Jalen Clark. Reverse layup, can't get it to go. Rudy Gobert gets the offensive rebound after the battle, and he gets a one-handed slam. I would probably, instead of Jalen Clark, I'd probably lean more toward Terrence Shannon Jr. Just somebody to match up athletically and speed-wise with this Hornets team to give you easy buckets, pushing it in transition. Zion James falls down, gets the layup to go anyway. Naj Reid was trying to avoid the foul. James falling towards the floor, throws it up towards the rim and gets it to drop down. Highland on the right wing. 16-point lead. Over the top of DiVincenzo. Extra pass to Reid. Reid in the corner being guarded by Bridges. Backing him down. Flips it up in the paint. Knocks that one down. Finally, a little push shot in the paint goes down for Naj Reid. Usually a go-to knockdown shot for Naj Reid. Tonight, not so much. 14-point game with 9.5 to go here in the fourth quarter. More than enough time to stage a comeback, but you're going to have to start getting busy. Obviously starts on the defensive end, but you got to string together stops and scores, not just stops. Diabate gets called for the offensive foul, spinning in to Naj Reid there and tripping him up. Whether it was on purpose or not, he definitely impeded the way of Naj Reid trying to chase his defender, and that's why he gets hit with the offensive foul. Macho said, what happened to Ayo? He subbed out of the game, brother. That's what happens in a basketball game. Anime said, I got Guy Santos for 15 points tonight and Steph Curry for 4 threes. Room for you, Anime. Room for you. Locked and loaded. What's up, locked and loaded? Is Brandon coming back? Probably. Dante DiVincenzo, left corner, heaves it up there, throws up an air ball. And a loose ball foul, and Jalen Clark battling for the loose ball. Come on, timer. We got to keep going. 9:25 to go. Angela Harding said, can't wait for the Knicks game tomorrow night. Yeah, the Knicks playing the Atlanta Hawks in Atlanta is going to be a tough one. Atlanta Hawks playing extremely well. They're up to the 5th seed. Here comes LaMelo Ball bringing it down. He has it up top being guarded by Clark. Ball's dancing with it. Gets it over to Grant Williams. Grant Williams trying to hand it off to Knipple. Good ball denial from Dante DiVincenzo. But DiVincenzo gets tripped up a little bit. Couldn't keep up with Knipple. So Gobert drops off of Grant Williams. Grant Williams just rises up and fires, and then Highland dribbles into traffic, turns it over, but Knipple turns it right back over. Gobert doing too much, trying to thread the needle on a pass. That's not your game, big dog. And Miles Bridges all the way to the rim gets the layup to go down past Naj Reid. And yet another timeout as this one's ballooned up to 19, and the Charlotte Hornets are running away with it. 102 to 83. Hector said the Knicks will win tomorrow. Easy? I don't know if it'll be easy, but I'm rooting for a win. Amit Guerra? What's up, Amit? Locked and loaded said I'm going to cash out on Brandon Miller Band. Definitely not. Anthony Edwards suit up today? He did not. He did not. Kamila? We got 8:52 to go, just under 9 minutes. It's a 19-point deficit, all momentum pointing towards the Charlotte Hornets right now. And if this is not below 15 points with like 5 or 6 minutes to go, probably going to end it there. Henry Robinson said, are you done after this? We will be done after this, yes. Even though Steph Curry is returning tonight against the Houston Rockets, I still not all that interested in that game, to be honest. We've seen more than enough Rockets games this season. And even with the return of Steph Curry in his first game back, I'm really not too excited. The Golden State Warriors are not a very good basketball team. Justice's dad. What's up, Justice's dad? What more does Coach Hurley need to do besides come to the Knicks? Nothing. Doesn't need to do anything. He needs to continue to do what he does, continue to recruit well, continue to coach well, continue to win championships. He doesn't really need to do anything. I think he's kind of firmly established as one of the better college coaches right now. And yes, to your point about coming to the Knicks, I do think that if he does have aspirations of ever jumping to the NBA, he's kind of said this in the past, like it would be to coach the New York Knicks. Got approached by the LA Lakers a couple of years ago, obviously before they went with JJ Redick, but I think when Dan Hurley makes the decision to seriously consider jumping to the NBA, it'll be for a job with the New York Knicks. And I don't think any other organization can pry him away. Maybe the Brooklyn Nets because it's also a New York team. But, you know, I think it's the Knicks. And the Knicks definitely, like, if anything, the Mike Brown hires a bit of a stopgap coach. Like, they need a young, developing, forward-thinking head coach. And I don't think Mike Brown is that. They might hold on to Mike Brown for the end of the final couple of runs of this era, of the Jalen Brunson era, before they eventually pivot off and then look for their next head coach. But, yeah. Just that's proven in the association. He's got to pick the right team, though. Can't just jump aboard to the first team that offers, which he already proved he's not going to do. Randall has it in the high post. He's back in for one final push. Randall in the post against Grant Williams. Stops, fall-away jumper in the paint. Got it to go for Randall. All right. It's now or never. Now or never, Minnesota. How close can we get this? Zion James gets it over to Bridges. Bridges being guarded by Clark. Swings it out to Grant Williams in the mid-range. Pump fakes being guarded by Randall. Randall applying pressure. He loses the handle, picks it back up, kicks it out to James. James up top, jab step, coming to his left, blowing past Naj Reid. Naj Reid reaches from behind and snaps the ball out of bounds. It'll stay here with the Hornets. Daniel Dash said, Warriors are stuck, so are the Rockets. Pretty much. Vincent Brock, what's up, Vincent? Could you imagine if Ball went to the Warriors instead of the Hornets? Yep. And it's not like that's a crazy thought, because plenty of people were like, just take LaMelo Ball. He fits kind of perfectly with how you want to play, and James Wiseman doesn't. As LaMelo Ball knocks down a three, speaking of, and it is the 20-point lead. And I don't see Charlotte giving up this lead with 8 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter as Conley draws the foul. He's going to go to the foul line for two. Grant Williams comes up limping. Fly beyond it. Is Rudy done for the night? Probably, because I don't see this lead shrinking that much more than what it is right now. I don't see it going below 15 unless, like, I'll give the Minnesota Timberwolves the benefit of the doubt and give them an opportunity to do so, but seeming like Charlotte is going to pull away here tonight. Mike Conley knocks down the first free throw. He's got another one coming. Daniel Dash, good night, brother. Enjoy the rest of your evening, big dog. Hector Ramos said Charlotte will win. Yeah, I think so. With an 18-point lead as Conley knocks down both free throws, I think it's very likely Charlotte pulls off this victory, unless it becomes a pretty epic collapse here from Charlotte as Jalen Williams, as Naj Reid comes up short on a dunk, brother. Randall picks up the loose ball, gets the layup and the foul. Jalen Clark able to jump the passing lane and gets the steal from as they were trying to pass the ball to LaMelo Ball. Got the Minnesota Timberwolves off and running. Randall gets the and one off the missed dunk from Naj Reid, who's just been an absolute offensive disaster tonight for the Minnesota Timberwolves, and part of the reason why they're down this much to begin with. But Randall doing a great job of hustling, finishing over the top of three Charlotte Hornet defenders and drawing the foul. So we could knock it down to a 15-point game here. Sparks said, come on, 10 more points for Charlotte. Randall misses the free throw, though, and that's not going to help. You had 3 missed free throws earlier from... Who missed them? I forget, but 3 missed free throws earlier for the Charlotte Hornets. Or from the Minnesota Timberwolves, and now you get a missed free throw from Randall. LaMelo Ball dancing with it. Step back 3 over Randall. LaMelo Ball off the back rim. Can't get it to go. Long rebound. Bridges says it down. Back to Ball. Catches. Pump fakes. Blows past Naj Reid in the paint. Kicks it out. Brandon Miller left wing 3. Can't get it to go. Rebound to Conley. But a foul's called. They called the foul on the 3-point shot? Oh my goodness. They called the foul on the 3-point shot. I got to see a replay on it. But that was an incredibly late foul call. You see it? I don't know if that's a foul call, man. That's fly-by defense from Dante DiVincenzo. Zoe, what's up, Zoe? Cash said, please make all 3. Brandon Miller at the foul line for 3 free throws. And Timberwolves are using a challenge here. Okay. I mean, if you still have belief here, 7:20 to go, that they can make this comeback. It's possible. Sparks said, I guess it's not too late for this to get close. Feels tough for Minnesota. Yeah, it's not too late. Possible, but unlikely. Possible, but unlikely. Emily Tritton, what's up, Emily? Can you move to the right, please? I got you, Emily. Thank you for asking nicely. I got you, Emily. My bad. What's up, Yer? I told you my boy start getting more views. Forgot about me in the chat. I didn't see you, I didn't see you. My bad. You know I always shout out my guy You're in the chat. How you doing today, brother? How you doing today? Henry Robinson, what's up, Henry? Vincent Brock said, this game is over. Yeah, very likely. Very likely over. Daniel Dash said, if he blocks Hart and Bridges 5 times in the line for a 5x5. Zoe said Minnesota's getting destroyed. Yeah, I mean, they lost the plot here in the fourth quarter. It was a close game for 3. Charlotte and Kobe White. Well, it was a 10-point game going into the fourth quarter. Kobe White got hot in that third quarter, and Minnesota really needed a guy like Naj Reid to show up, and Naj Reid has been a bit of an offensive disaster. He's hustled and played hard, but, brother, they need you to knock down some shots. You ever said Hornets making a run in the playoffs? I think they could. They very well could. Daniel Dash said Kirilenko was last to do it. E.g. Utah's AK-47. Yeah. The 5x5? No. Yusuf Nurkic had a 5x5 when he was with Portland. I don't fully understand that call. They call it a loose ball foul and DiVincenzo, not a shooting foul. It's a loose ball foul and DiVincenzo. So it's side out of bounds for Charlotte, not 3 free throws. Tron from, what's up, Tron? Can Melo still get 1 point? He could, brother, he could. Jeremiah Williams, what's up, Jeremiah? Do you think Melo's good for 1 more assist? He could, brother. King Jackson, what's up, King Jackson? Ball has it up top, being guarded by Jalen Clark. Dancing with it, coming to his left off of the Diabate screen. Over the top pass to Diabate, kicks out the Bridges. Miles Bridges, left wing 3, has been on fire all night, and he continues that as he knocks down that right wing 3, pushing it back up to 19. And after building a little bit of momentum there for the Minnesota Timberwolves, cutting it to 16, Randle misses the free throw, and then suddenly they knock down a 3. Naj Reid throws up a complete brick, not even close to the rim. He has not had the touch here tonight. Bridges has it up top, loses the handle. Bridges saves it over to the Ball. Ball is going to stop and pop for an open 3. Got it to go, and that will wrap it up. Now we'll wrap it up. 111-89, back-to-back 3s, pushes it to 22 points. Randle on the right wing being guarded by Diabate. The next dead ball we got, we will wrap this one up. They can't get out to Dosunmu, pump fakes over to Conley, left corner 3 for Conley. He can't get it to go, battle for the loose ball. Brandon Miller picks it up, bringing it down the other way. A couple of bodies falling all over the place, but Miles Bridges gets it and rushes it across the half-court line over to LaMelo Ball, being guarded by Naj Reid. We are approaching the halfway point, and a foul out on the perimeter by Naj Reid. 6 minutes to go. Henry Robinson and T-Wolves, my favorite team too. Zoe said, why did I get a timeout from the chat? Too much spamming, Zoe, too much spamming. You gotta chill in the chat a little bit. There's a lot of people in the chat. We're talking to a lot of people. Cash said, dang, 2 back-to-back, but no Miller. No Miller. No Brandon Miller tonight, who has 7 points. LaMelo Ball up top being guarded by Highland. Coming to his left off the Knipple screen. Double step back, left wing 3. LaMelo Ball in and out, can't get it to go. Battle for the rebound. Rebound to Dosunmu. Pushing it the other way. Shot out of a cannon. Driving it the other way. Scoop layup got it to go for Ayo Dosunmu. Fly beyond with the fly. Hornets need to trade and get Giannis. They could win. I don't know. That's what they need, big dog. Not even sure they have the assets to do so. I guess they could give up a bunch of picks, but they don't really have the young players they'd want to give up that the Milwaukee Bucks would be interested in. LaMelo Ball spins to the lane and gets the scoop layup to go. Jalen Clark, a wide open right corner 3. Got it to go for Jalen Clark. 5:20 to go. First stoppage in play is when we will wrap this up. Sparks said, likely destroy my Raptors on the way through the play-in. Year said, I'm so ready for the playoff stream. I can't wait. I cannot wait. Kevin Underwood, what's up, Kev? King LeBron might be the oldest player in the NBA, but he still shows you that he's still the king on the court. Everybody will know in the playoffs. Yeah, but no Luka, no Austin Reeves, brother. I'm giving the LA Lakers like a 5% chance of winning more than one playoff game. Highland, the right wing three, can't get it to go. We're heaving up shots. Rebound the Bridges. And again, the first stoppage in play we get, first dead ball, is when we will wrap it up. Knipple draws the foul. He's going to go to the foul line for 2. We are just padding our stats at this point. King Jackson said, I got faith in Ball for 1 more assist. Zoe said, stream the Golden State game? No, I'm going to go ahead and go to sleep and prepare for tomorrow's game. Global Trap House, what's up, Global? Is White coming back in? No, nobody will be coming back in. This game is over. The next substitutions you see will be for end of the bench guys. And here we come, Terrence Shannon Jr. coming inside. Oh, here comes Kobe White. Never mind, I was wrong. Kobe White's coming back in, even though it's a 19-point game with 4:40 to go. Why are we doing that? Who knows? The 6th seed incoming, hopefully. Mad Pepsi. Yeah, I mean, they're still alive for it. Absolutely. Charlotte Hornets still alive for it. Knipple knocks down both free throws. Lindsay Trooper said, is Luka out for the playoffs? Not officially, but that hamstring injury is not something you could typically play through. He probably will try. We'll see. But I don't have a ton of faith that he'll be able to play well. But we'll see. Maybe it's not as bad. Obviously, there's different levels of hamstring injuries that you can get. We'll see. We'll see. Bridges hands it off to Kobe White. Kobe White being guarded by Desunmu. Got 4 minutes to go. When are we going to get a dead ball? When are we going to get a timeout? It's an 18-point game. Cross court to James. Extra pass to Diabate. Diabate along the baseline. Floater, air ball. Rebound to Highland. We're going to push the other way. Here said, Luka's out. He got a grade 2. It's over for him. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. They'll give him something so he can try and play through it. But yeah, I seriously doubt he'll be able to play. And if he does, he probably won't be able to play well. Cora said, Coop is almost 40 in the third. Yeah, he might. For a while there, it felt like Knipple all but wrapped up the Rookie of the Year race. And now Cooper Flagg, after the 50-point game, he is roaring back, man. Cooper Flagg, I thought he had more than that. 34 points here in the third quarter. Reyno misses the 3, battle for the loose ball, rebound to Zion James. I'm waiting for a timeout or something. A commercial break. 3:30 to go. Cooper Flagg, 12 for 21 from the floor, 2 for 3 from 3, 8 for 10 from the foul line, 6 boards, 8 assists. My goodness, Cooper Flagg stacking up the box score there. There's a foul right there. And you know what? We're going to wrap it up right there on the foul. This one is over. I appreciate everybody for coming out and hanging out with me here tonight. Lindsay said, yeah, I think Cooper's winning Rookie of the Year. Yeah, I was leaning Knipple for a couple of weeks there, and now I think I'm back on the Cooper Flagg bandwagon. It's got to be Flagg. Flagg is the better player, and I think has more responsibility on this Dallas Mavericks team as the singular go-to guy. Whereas like Knipple tonight, he has a poor game, but his team ends up winning by, a cool 20 points. Like if Cooper Flagg doesn't have a good game, the Dallas Mavericks are getting smoked out of the gym. Of course, the difference between Con and Coop is that Coop is his team's main. Con isn't and has almost the same statistics. Yeah. I mean, it is... Knipple ends up with a lot of open looks because he gets to play off of the gravity of LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller. Knipple also has a ton of great gravity and has been really solid this year as well. It's not an easy pick. But I could see Knipple winning it, but I'm leaning more towards Kobe White now. And we finally get, bench players in. Joan Barringen's in the game. So we're going to wrap it up right there. Thank you guys for everybody tuning in here tonight for our doubleheader coverage. First Raptors, Celtics, then Hornets, Timberwolves. Both games started off fun and through 3 quarters was fun up until the 4th quarter where the better team ultimately ended up pulling away. Here in this one, the Hornets pulling away from the Timberwolves, and in the last one, the Celtics pulling away from the Raptors. But as always, shout out to all of our channel members. Whether you were gifted a membership or you decided to become a member all on your own, I appreciate your support nonetheless. And shout out to everybody in the chat for just deciding to hang out with us here tonight for what ended up being a pretty fun, decent night of basketball. As we wind down the rest of the regular season here, Oftentimes, these end of the regular season games can get a little wacky, a little, guys resting for the playoffs, or, like if you are dealing with an injury, you don't want to push yourself and whatnot. So sometimes some of these scores, some of these games can get a little wacky, especially come fourth quarter time where it's like, you know what, let go of the rope, let's rest up for the next one. Because the main priority for most of these playoff teams is getting to the playoffs as healthy as possible. There are only a few teams like the Charlotte Hornets who are actually still battling for playoff positioning or trying to battle out of the play-in situation to get into the playoffs and whatnot. So you don't always get the greatest of matchups. But again, as always, I appreciate you guys for just sticking it out through with us here tonight. We had really good games, but, not the greatest games in the world. So tomorrow we will be live again, of course, as the New York Knicks taking on the Charlotte Hornets. No, the New York Knicks will be taking on the Atlanta Hawks. We will be live 30 minutes before tip-off time. I believe it's a 7:30 tip-off time. It is in Atlanta. It is a 7 o'clock tip-off time, so an earlier start time. We'll be live at 6:30 tomorrow. It is a national TV game, Peacock/NBCSN. I don't know what that means, but I guess it's on some sort of channel from NBC. But it's also on Peacock, the streaming service. So, national TV game for the Knicks. They have struggled against over 500 teams for the last month. The last win against an over 500 team came a month ago, so hopefully our New York Knicks can pull off a victory tomorrow. They need it. They need it against a red-hot Hawks team. That would be a really solid victory. So with that being said, thank you guys. Shout out AP earlier for his very generous super chats in the first stream, and shout out everybody for hanging out with us here tonight. Talking Knicks, appreciate you, brother. Justice's dad, appreciate you. Fly Beyond, Emily Neal, Mad Pepsi, K Hazy, Zoe, appreciate you guys. Spark, appreciate you. Cora, and remember to brush teeth before bed. Stay hydrated, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Good night, everybody. Bye.